who's last.
Oh yeah, it'll be Nick then Mom.
Yeah, just jump in after I.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to PERPLEXELLEL Session 1. This is our new chaotically interactive D&D campaign. I tried to do some fun reactive Discord images around, and for whatever reason, it just decides to do whatever it wants. So, for example, like Luke's up there in the corner works. Talk for a second, Luke.
Yes, hello.
See, look how cool that looks.
That's great.
But
That is awesome.
But then Kevin's is just his normal Discord picture, even though I uploaded it correctly.
I like Kevin's.
This stupid thing. I'm sorry we're so late. I had to have everyone in here to assign the links to them, and I got everything right, but it just decides to do whatever it wants. So sorry about that. But yes, thank you for all joining me tonight for a fun session of D&D. This is PERPLEXELLEL. It is a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition mini campaign that takes place in our homebrew universe of the Twixt plane, and involves a crazy, eccentric group of characters as they go on some experimental missions, let's say. Let's give a roll call, why don't we?
Oh man, I guess I'm first now. Yes. Hey everybody, it's Luke, and
It's Domo, me, of Goblin Warlord, as for true.
Spectacular. What's up, guys? It's Kevin, and I'm playing Musa, a female sorcerer. And I'm totally normal, just normal little girl.
that's not ominous or anything.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? My name's Slim, or Brian, whatever the hell you want to call me. I'll be playing Nasher Flash, a kobold bard. My apologies.
Next.
Kyle. Yeah, I didn't realize that was. I'm Kyle. I'm playing Harper Roche, rock star, rocking in the stars, looking for that new sound and that will rock the stars.
Oh, sorry. Hey guys. It's been a while.
This is the
I
production quality you
yeah.
can expect here. The professionalism on this.
No, we're just
Especially
getting
to
the kinks
point it
out.
out every time.
We're just getting the kinks out.
I'm Amanda. I am playing Six, the Paragon. Pretty sure that's how you say it. Barbarian. Wild magic barbarian. Should be interesting.
Cool. Is that
Hey,
everybody?
everybody.
Oh,
I'm
Nick.
Nick, and I'm playing Vice, bro. Sup? Thank you for watching. Most interactive stream in all the Twix. Make sure that you get your knowledge shards. Okay.
This is great. This is so good.
Hi everyone, my name is Maz, and I'll be playing Tali, Kalishtar Druid.
Maz is our special guest tonight. She is, what would you describe yourself, Maz? A variety streamer?
Mm-hmm.
A variety
much.
streamer,
That's what
but
we do.
she has dabbled in TTRPGs, D&D, and some stuff. Did you play some Pathfinder too, I think, in the past?
Yep.
So she's definitely no stranger to some D&D and TTRPGs, so I am super excited to have her come play with us for a couple sessions. So this will be super fun. Make sure and follow that link in the chat to go support her and give her channel a follow. She plays a whole bunch of really cool stuff, and it's a really cool community she's built up. So make sure and go give her some love. And as you guys notice now, all of the characters have slotted into place just magically, except for Kevin's image. I don't know.
That is a normal human girl right there.
How weird.
My image.
Let's see here. Just a couple bits of housekeeping before we jump into tonight's session. Big thanks, as always, to this campaign's character art provided by Peachy Yuri, as well as the NPC art by Luminarts. Actually, no, that's incorrect. It's not Luminarts. Let me just quickly change this. Hang on. That was from a previous campaign. This is from Iruichi. Let me go throw her in here. Let's do this. Iruichi. So you guys make sure, go follow them on Twitter. Give them some support. They did amazing work for this campaign's character art. So thank you, both of you, so much for that. That's really awesome. And it's really great stuff. We're doing a giveaway this stream. If you are a D&D fan, or maybe just a TTRPG fan, I'm giving away a physical copy of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. It just released this week. So at some point during this stream, as long as you are already following the channel and you're in the chat, I'm going to, at a random spot, just decide to roll, and whoever is in the chat and meets that number is going to get the physical copy of Fizban's. The only stipulation is you have to be located within the US, just because shipping outside of that is real expensive. So if for whatever reason they don't happen to be in the States, I'll just roll again to someone else and kind of keep an idea of who's in the chat. But yeah, make sure you're following the channel if not already, because we are so close to 400 followers. I think we're at like 393, something like that. So if you enjoy the content here, I've been doing a lot of Halloween content, but we are a TTRPG channel at its heart. So make sure and give the channel a follow if you like D&D or just TTRPG stuff in general. It'll be a lot of fun. We use Twitch channel points here. So you can buy all kinds of cool stuff like inspiration for the party, +1 to any of the rolls. This campaign is using some specific stuff as well. We have the volatile Wyrd channel point reward. Anytime in this campaign when the characters are in a collateral reality, which will be explained this session, whenever they roll or make an active check and roll a 1 or a 20, they're going to trigger a Wyrd surge, which think of it like a D&D, a wild surge, but potentially more hazardous. However, with the volatile Wyrd reward for the next 30 minutes, real time, whenever one of the players roll a 1, 2, 19, or 20, that's going to trigger the Wyrd. So you can make things a little more dire for them. On top of that, there's also the Wyrd mitigation reward that you can buy. So as players have to roll on that table, they're going to be building up Wyrd pressure, which again will be explained this session. And the higher their pressure, the more dangerous triggering the Wyrd will become. So you can help if they don't have the ability to try and lower that pressure. You have the ability to try and help so that they can roll and lower it themselves. That's another way for you to give them a hand. So make sure, go down to the bottom left of the chat, you'll see the purple icon of the Wyrd bits. Bay went ahead. Bay, I don't know if that's fair because you have a shitload of points.
Yeah, babe.
But we'll go ahead and let it happen. So for the next 30 minutes, until 10:05, the volatile Wyrd is in effect. So we'll see if that triggers or not. Maybe it will. So those are some fun rewards. You can see the details, like I said, down below in the bottom left of the chat. What's up, husband and wife stream? Let's see. I think we have new stream stickers. So Bay has created some very cute chibi art for all of the main characters of the campaign, and you can now find those in the stream stickers. If you're on desktop, just go to the right side here. As you mouse over, you'll see the purple heart icon. If you're on mobile, you'll see it right there next to the chat, and you can slap those down. If you're a subscriber, you get all kinds of stuff. Mystic, thank you for all of those gifted subs. How are you doing? Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you guys can slap stickers, have some fun with us. We also use the D&D Beyond plugin. I have made sure to notify D&D Beyond because for whatever reason I could only use like Domo and another character. So I'm going to see if I can find the rest so I can make sure and stick them in there so you can see that stuff too. So you're going to hear a couple more of those. Thank you, Mystic. I need to like duck now to be able to see. Our homebrew list for this campaign. I always like to do some fun rolls. The homebrew list for this campaign is, and this Maz will probably help you out too. At the beginning of our sessions, everybody rolls a d20. Whoever rolls the lowest has to give the recap from last week. So hopefully you remember. If you do end up giving the recap, the following week you are immune. You don't have to roll, so you're not having to get a bunch of rolls at once. And so that's a fun way for us to do the recap. I use inspiration cards, so the beginning of every session. You may be familiar, Maz, with inspiration. That's where a character can use inspiration. They get advantage on a roll. Usually that's something that DMs in D&D just hand out at certain times, but I use special cards that everyone gets to draw, and you get to read the card and hold on to it until you use it, and it may give you additional benefits besides just getting advantage on a roll. So I'll give that to you guys real soon here, and I'll show you how to pull from that deck here in Roll20. Other than that, there is no luck in this game, because any of the luck stuff or the good boy, bad boy cards that most of you are used to that we did in previous campaigns is being moved. We are only using Wyrd surges. So on a natural 1 or 20, when making a physical check while in a collateral reality, you're going to immediately have to roll on a Wyrd surge table. The rest of the rules regarding you, my main players who are going to be wearing your suits, are going to be explained narratively in this session. And so those of you who are watching will get some insight into the rules there too. So why don't I go ahead and hand out some inspiration to everyone so you have a card to use. I don't know if it'll be super useful this first session, but I'll go ahead and hand them out anyway just in case.
Just you watch. I'll find it.
It actually might be. Yeah, let me see. So here's inspiration. Go ahead, everyone. Maz, you can just go ahead and just like literally drag the card down to your name at the bottom. And then when you click on it, you can read it.
Oh, nice. Extra bonus action. I can use that shit.
Gotta choose two.
Oh,
Choose two are the best.
So, Maz, anytime you want to use that, whatever its effect is, if you have any questions about it, let me know. But it should do something like give you advantage on a roll, or it may have another ability that you could use instead, whenever it may be useful.
Okay.
There's no recap this week since it's our first session, so I'm just going to go ahead, and if you guys are ready, I'm never going to get over seeing Kevin's image.
It makes it. It's so good.
Look at his hair. It's like you're being electrocuted. It's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and play our intro, and then we're just going to dive into things. So we will be right back.
God.
Except I'm not so smooth, you know what I'm saying?
Gross.
See, and now notice when we switch screens, all the weird Discord stuff just miscombobulates again. We'll see how that works. I see a lot of other streams where it works perfectly. Luke's, for whatever reason, works fine right now. Oh well.
You know, I'm just that great.
We'll play with it. Thank you so much for the hype train. Let's keep the hype train going, y'all.
Hype train. 4 minutes, guys. Keep it moving.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So, let's go ahead and... Chatters, I'm going to go ahead and dive into our game here. And let's go ahead and start with some introductions, shall we, for this new campaign. Thank you for those bits. Okay, so, I'm moving the maps. Let's kick things off. Domo.
It's me.
Your senses begin to come back to you. You begin to wake from a deep slumber to the sound of gears and metal shifting around you. You notice that you are in a cushioned interior of what looks like a steel cylindrical pod. The noise that you hear as your vision comes into focus is the top half of the pod pulling open, revealing to you a medium-sized white chamber. This chamber is about 50 by 50 feet wide and practically featureless, save for 6 other closed pods circling the center of the room. The chamber is brightly lit by arcane lighting that runs in angular lines at the far walls. The air here feels cold. You can feel the goosebumps that have formed on your neck. Although your memory is at first foggy, you begin to recollect signing up for a new Neogokyo science experiment, the details of which seemed purposefully vague. Perhaps you signed up for the pay, or perhaps it may have been for some other reason to be revealed by you at some point in the future.
Probably.
Either way. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I hop up and crawl out of the pod.
You begin to crawl out, and as you do, you remember the contract mentioning that you were to only bring enough possessions that you could carry on your person. You recollect traveling to the Mastermind's home headquarters on Neogokyo, a massive, steel, artificial moon created by a race of creatures known as the Genius. Neogokyo is covered in a constant overcast with heavy rain, a necessary creation of the weather control the Maesters have on the planet in order to absorb the lightning it produces as a form of power for all the moon's magical elements. The Masterminds, one of the 4 large consortium factions who rule here in the Twixt plane, necessitated that in order to carry out the experiment, you'd be required to be put under a magical sleep to maintain the confidentiality of the deeper level laboratory that you'd be transported to below the planet's surface, and deep below the only city on Neogokyo, known as Neogokyo Prime. Things still feel a bit hazy as you continue to pull yourself up out of your pod. The last few details a bit murky. Perhaps you remember having some type of dream, but as we do in real life, as you wake up, it just seems to slip from your grasp. What does Domo look like as she crawls out of the pod?
Domo's a hobgoblin, so slightly shorter than humans, but taller than a regular goblinoid. Trademark red skin, got some nice tusks going on, pale white hair, goat-like eyes, bright yellow, and couple of big gaudy gold earrings hanging off of her big goblinoid ears, and of course horns.
Oh yeah,
hobgoblins got horns.
That's right. Everything seems to be on your person as you sort of pull yourself out and do a double check, with the addition of a form-fitting uniform that sits over your armor and normal clothing. It's mostly white with various purple details and pockets. It has a brimming collar at the top and runs low to the ground, similar to a lab coat. Now that you have pulled yourself out, what would you like to do?
Is this a bloody straitjacket? They got me in the loony bin. What kind of experiment is this? Hello?
I call out.
As you call out, you hear another pod stirring to life. The gears underneath the one adjacent to yours begin to shift it from its flat angle to sitting upright in an acute position. The front half of the pod opens with a click and begins to raise, revealing another person. What does Harper Rouge look like?
Oh, that's me. He is about 6'8", 2, so he's quite tall. He's very lean. He's got very long limbs, and he has some sort of natural glow that everybody just can't help but be attracted to just looking at him and just like loving him, obviously, because he's an eidolon and he needs it to actually breathe.
You begin to come to as well, Harper. Both you, Harper, as you wake, as well as you, Domo, seeing this pod open, notice that he is wearing the same relative uniform, though the details differ in some areas.
We're in the same pod, you say?
No, you're in a different pod, but Domo can see you now that she's climbed out.
But there's like a chamber that the pods exit out into.
I gotcha.
You basically go through the same experience as Domo does. Your memory at first foggy as you wake from this sleep where you think you may have had some dreams, but it's difficult to recall. And you remember signing up for a science experiment deep within the lower levels of the Mastermind's laboratory headquarters on Neogokyo Prime. What would you like to do, Harper? You also now see a hobgoblin standing probably a few feet away from you, watching as your pod opens.
Well, hello.
Domo scurries over on furry bare feet and kind of looks you up and down and gives you a sniff and says,
You another inmate?
No, inmate, no. I volunteered to be here.
Oh, well, that's a relief. Here I thought I'd gone and they threw us in the madhouse.
No, oh. Well, you may not be far off, actually. Who's to say, really? Been in one or two before.
You think all these other pods got lab rats in them?
Only one way to find out. You take that one.
Okay, I hop over to the next pod and kind of probably ungently bang on it.
Hello? Anybody in there?
As you do, systematically, almost like clockwork, between the same space of time as yours opened to Harper's, the pod adjacent to his begins to shift with the sound of whirring gears to sit in an acute upright position. Opening up inside, you see another figure. Slim, what does your character, Nasher, look like?
Nasher, Mr. Flash, is a kobold, about medium height, mustard, brownish yellow skin, red eyes, bunch of piercings over his nose, ears, a few in his mouth, set of headphones in, bound, I guess, similar to you guys a little bit, in some weird get-up.
You, similarly to the others, go through the same experience as you begin to wake. And the same memories as the others begin to fill your mind, where at some point in your travels, you likely signed up to be a part of this experiment.
Oh, man. What is this? Oh. Who or what are you, my fine friend?
Hello. Name's Domo. Me's a leader, me. And you're a kobold. They got all sorts of crazy folk in here.
I am. You said Domo, right?
That's right.
Oh, that's wonderful. You hear that, everybody? We got our first member of our crew. Miss, correct?
That's right.
Miss Domo. Well, my given name is, well, Nasher. But you can just call me, Flash.
Flash, right, rolls right off the old tongue. Let's get you out of there, huh?
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. It's wonderful.
Rouge kind of stops and turns around. I've heard that voice before. If that's not Flash, I don't know.
Oh,
How are you?
my goodness. See, I came here looking for some wonderful new talent, and look what I get. Some old talent that's fresh every day, like a beautiful blooming flower. Harper, you old fiend, you look at you.
You do go on. It's Black Star now.
Oh, my apologies. Scratch, where's all my things? I need to get this down.
Don't worry about it, friend. We've got another friend to greet. And Domo, she's new friend. We'll see who the next new friend is.
Right, we are mates.
You notice, similar to the others, Nasher, that all of your gear and belongings are on your person, with the addition of a unique-looking lab suit.
Awesome.
And let's show Nasher here. As you finish talking and getting acquainted, another pod begins to stir to life. This one shifting upright. Sound of a releasing steel shift, and then a pod bay door opens. Inside, each of you see another figure. Maz, what's your character look like?
Tali, she is very tall, 6 feet. So she's kind of scrunched up in the pod a little bit. She has like an angular face, very stern, kind of almost resting bitch face a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, maybe a lot. Yeah, she's extremely tall with brown skin and an angular face.
Tally, as you wake, you remember signing up for a Neogokyo experiment, one that would have you potentially being I guess you could call a chronicler in a way, in terms of taking notes as you go. You awake with the same memories as most everyone else as you come to. You, however, unlike the others, just have your regular items and gears on your person. You're not wearing a suit as the others are.
You the boss?
I thought you would be, seeing as you all are waiting for me to wake up.
It seems to be a mystery.
And what are your names?
We introduce ourselves.
Do that. The name's Black Star. This is Domo and Flash.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Pleasure indeed. Name's Tali.
Tali, one second. Come here. Speak into this for me. He's gonna pull up like a silver thin kind of like microphone cord with a thin mic off of his vest and pull it up. Can I get your name just one more time?
No, you sure you're not the researcher? Are you recording?
I am recording. You're gonna be famous, I promise you.
Interesting. Tali.
You hear that, folks? Tali, that's number 3.
Number 3.
Are we forming a band? What's all this recording?
My friend's something of an archivist.
Yeah, I record all of the talent that I find, and should some of it be fit or you be interested, I share it across the Twixt. I record it in these little crystals here for, like he said, archiving for future use. Music, stories. You do want to be a star, don't you?
Not particularly.
Oh.
Kind of want to be a hero.
Maybe that's something
Do you
Go ahead.
do you just think everyone new you meet is a star in the making?
Well, it is the Twixt. It's full of stars. They had to come from somewhere.
You turn around, see Rouge is like,
Interesting.
you're in my presence.
Oh, stealing my heart as usual. I wish I could have toured with you.
Oh, do go on.
All right, let's keep moving here.
You guys begin to hear the sound of another pod shifting upright. This one opening and revealing. Nick, what's your character look like?
Vice is a human A very 80s looking guy in a jumpsuit that is dangerously V'd down to about his midsection. He is of muscular build. He is an athlete and martial artist. He has luxurious feathered hair.
You begin to wake, Vice, and similarly to the others, your memories begin to flood back to you. A bit of a murky dream. Tally, before I get to Vice, you had a strange phenomenon happen to you while you sleep. One that you're not, one that you're accustomed to. But this one seemed very, at the same time, clear and nebulous. You had what you would probably refer to as a dream, though you know it's not just your dream, but something else. But you had visions of another Kalashtar, a very successful and ambitious Kalashtar, one whose personal drives and ego seemed to be limitless. But something about him, despite all of that, seemed to rub you the wrong way. But you're not sure of any other information or name other than that. Vice, you find yourself waking up. You notice that you too are wearing this interesting looking, tight-fitting lab outfit. And you find yourself in a relatively featureless white space and a bunch of eccentric looking characters as you pull yourself up out of the pod.
Bro, this trailer is not big enough for all of us. This is crazy. Are we in catering? Where is catering?
Whoa, someone as swole as you, I couldn't find a room as, big enough, that is.
A lot of tall folk in here all of a sudden.
This totally reminds me of Out of Vice, Out of Mind, where I played a hospital patient martial artist. When is call time?
Call time? What are you talking about?
When do we start? Are you features? Are you extras? Is the leading lady here?
I'm offended that you would think that I am an extra. Number one.
We institutionalized.
Number two. We're not institutionalized. Well, we might be.
I mean, it kind of feels like it.
It's starting to look like it.
Right on. So we're all method actors. I like it. I gotta get my swole on before we get on camera. So, nice to meet you all. My name's right here if you forget it. And Vice is just gonna start doing push-ups.
Nice.
As
That's
Vice
amazing.
drops and begins to do some push-ups, another pod begins to whir upright. This one opening and revealing another figure. Kevin, what's your character look like?
So, as the door opens, a shower of purple sparks kind of fly out, and jumping out, big as can be, but not really, because she's only about 3'5". This adorable little girl, right now auburn hair, purple eyes, and she just sort of has this glow about her, and she has a huge smile on her face. Wow! You're all the new ones the Maesters decide to send with me and have some fun. Oh, I can't wait! It's so exciting to meet you all!
Were you some kind of gnome or something?
Oh no, I'm just Luca. My name's Musa. Who are you?
I'm Tomo. What are you, like a human youngling or something?
I walk right over and I start just kind of like poking at your horn. Oh, wow. I've never met someone with horns. Those are so
Stop it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I like snap at her fingers with my teeth.
To say I have problems with personal space. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm so excited to meet you all. I look at Flash. Whoa, what are you?
I'm a kobold, dear. How old are you? I didn't know we had young talent coming in this year.
The Cobalt. You're the first one of you I've ever seen too. This is gonna be amazing.
Black Star, she's got your energy.
It's got star talent, I'll tell you.
Whoa, on your face. You got a lightning bolt on your face.
It's
Oh, cool. I've never thought about that. I want to do that.
it's a little bit of rouge. I'll show you how.
Yes, please.
As a very enthusiastic human-looking girl is running around kind of poking at people, the final pod in the room begins to shift and stir. It begins to raise and open. Amanda, as your pod opens, both of you on the outside as well as the creature on the inside sees that the area just below where the top portion of the pod opens has been outfitted with several steel bars that allow the creature inside to see out of the pod but not leave. Amanda, what does your character look like?
So 6 is a heron gone, a little bunny. She's pretty short, even for a heron gone. She's 3.5 feet tall. Do we have our weapons like on us?
Mm-hmm. All of your belongings are on you.
Okay. She is she has multicolored like rainbow hair. She has gold and silver piercings all over her big fluffy white ears. She has a gold tooth, you know, her 2 big front teeth, one of them is gold. And on her back you can see a really big warhammer that's almost as big as her. And it has a goal on the handle, kind of like something you might see a pirate have. And oh god.
No, I was just. You go ahead. You're still introing your character.
I was just gonna say, when the pod opens and before the pod even opens, she's like banging like a little bare furry foot against the against the glass, and she's like, "Hey, let me out! Let me out! Open this door!"
You see this tiny furry foot kicking up against several steel bars that sort of cage this Harangon inside of it.
Musa runs and jumps on her pod.
No, as she's running, this swirl of essentially sound appears in front of you, and then what's my name? Black Star appears in front of you, and he puts his hand out in front of you and says, "No, it's probably closed for a reason. Let's just look, eh?"
I'm sure she's fine.
He wraps an arm around her and then walks her closer still. "Hello."
You have a key for this thing? What is this?
You're so cute. I love it.
What kind of sick game is this? What, huh? Let me out.
This isn't one of those like cephalopod triathlon things where we have to like kill each other and try and survive till the end, is it?
Cephalopod, fuck you.
I wasn't aware, Benny.
I don't know what an octopus.
No. She's wearing the same kind of jackets we all are. I'm sure she's here for a reason.
It seems that only one of us knows anything.
Well, obviously, we're all going on this adventure together for the Maesters.
I
Know
agree.
anything?
Well, here, why don't you, and he holds her out by either side of the waist, sits you down, tell us everything we should know. This is our first time.
Well, I don't know everything. I just know the Maesters were looking for people to go on an adventure, and I've never been outside my room, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear about it. Oh my god!
Wait a second. You all signed up for this?
Not necessarily. I run a crystal station, and well, none of the listeners, the few that we have, signed up. I promoted it as a contest for them, and well, the tiny exclusion for all this was if no one signs up, I kind of have to fill in the void.
Ooh, you gotta read those contracts.
Yeah.
Right. I totally signed up for it too. Is this rabbit still in here?
What? Yeah? Let me out. Do you
Is
have
there
a key?
Control or something to maybe open her cage, Jason?
As you begin looking around, give me a perception check.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Suspicious start.
Yeah, you got pretty keen eyes to look around here, but the room seems featureless. You don't see anything that looks as though it could be a way to help this Harangon out.
Is there like any sort of like seams between the glass part and the actual pot itself that I could try to pop open with thieves' tools?
Well, it's not glass. It's like these thick steel bars that are sort of like running across, and it looks like it is thoroughly set in place.
Six has like 2 hands on the bar. She's just going. Ah.
As she continues to yell, you each notice a shifting happening on a nearby wall, and appearing on it is a magic mouth. Through the magic mouth, you hear someone talking from what seems like probably a different room, perhaps. And they say,
"Participant vitals are reading at acceptable levels. Heart rate of final subject reading at anticipated factors. Substance merger of suits look properly combined on a material level. Mimetic forms maintaining equilibrium. Symbiosis showing predicted outcomes. Lividity calibrated. Weird fluctuation shows signs of proper attenuation. Hello. You may need to take a moment to reorient yourselves in your conscious states, both physically and mentally. Allow me to ease the process with a bit of information to help massage your recollections. Each of you individually signed on to be test subjects for my experiment, collectively spending the last 9 days, 5.4 hours, either traveling to Neogokyo Prime or prepping yourselves for the retrieval process. I am the director and head researcher of Quadrant 5 on level redacted of the Mastermind Laboratories. You may call me Lexi."
As what sounds like a female form says this, there is the sound of shifting metal that can be heard coming from the center of the room as the floor begins to shift, opening up to a 5-foot hole. In the middle, beginning to raise up from the hole, is a circular white pedestal. It stops when it gets to about waist height, and sitting on its surface is a fist-sized steel object created in the shape of what looks like a vortex of some sort. Each of you notice that it seems to bear the same shape of the insignia on your outfits, albeit in different areas. Musa. Is it Musa or Musa?
Musa.
Musa, okay. Musa, you, with your perception check, noticed that there did seem to be a indention in the center of the bars holding in the Harangon that seemed to have the same shape. And the voice continues.
Before I dispense with your assignment, I require that you carry out the following directions I have for you. This will ensure all preparations have been thoroughly executed before we begin. In the center of the room, you should now see a pedestal with a small object on it. If you do not see the pedestal, or if instead of a pedestal you see something large, furry and writhing in a pool of viscous black fluid, please notify me.
What the
I'll take your silence to mean you see the pedestal as it should appear. In order to maintain secrecy of this laboratory level and its tests, your paperwork necessitated that each of you be put under a form of heavy arcane sedation, so that you could be transported here safely. Think of it like a much more optimal way of putting on a blindfold. Some of you took a more aggressive outlook to this approach than others. However, the sedation process is over, and you no longer have any reason to attempt to tear off the limbs of any of my technicians or the members who currently reside in this room. The object on the pedestal is an unlocking mechanism which I need one of you to bring over to the pod containing the Herongon. You will notice on the outside perimeter of the bars an area with an indentation matching that of the object. Simply fit the object into this spot, please.
Musa will do that.
You grab the metal piece, this insignia that matches your suits, and as you walk over and slide it into the slot on the bars, it begins to pull in with a click. And Six, you watch as the bars sort of individually begin to pull back and release so that you can exit.
Hey there, before you go going hog wild and start tearing up everything around here, know that we might be friends, alright?
She starts like rolling up her sleeves. She's like, I don't know. You want to go? She looks at Vise, who's I guess is still working out, right?
Yeah, pantomiming jumping rope at this point.
You with the muscles. You gonna be a problem?
Adversary already? I mean, do we have a fight scene now?
Boy, she's talking mad shit. You're gonna let her do that?
I can give you a fight scene. Is that what you want? She puts up
Whatever sells
puts up her little
tickets.
furry paws.
Rabbit.
All right, let's do this.
It's,
Ding ding! The fight is for 10 rounds. Best of 5.
Vice
I
will,
only need 1 round.
Vice will combat roll and get nose to nose with Six by being on one knee.
I was gonna say.
Supposed to like save that for like the climax and not open with the fight scene, but your call. That guy's the director, right?
All right, let's go. And she's gonna try to kick him in the groin.
All right, give me an attack roll, like an unarmed attack roll.
Oh Lord. Let's go. That's a 7. A crit fail.
That's a 1 already.
We are still in the whatever Bailey triggered too.
Yeah, we are.
You guys are not in a collateral reality, luckily. However,
Oh, good.
Six, you go to give a swift kick to Vice's groin, and the just sort of clean nature of the room, how everything is sort of this just white glass-like or metal-like surface, you find yourself tripping and falling over right underneath Vice, missing him completely.
That must have not been the lucky foot.
She hops back up, and she's like, ugh, and she like spits on the floor. She's like, I can give you another lucky foot.
There's no need for that.
Well, you just gotta let her take a swing. You're not gonna give it as good as you get it.
I mean, all I felt was wind, but if you want to catch a wave, spinning back fist. Retaliation.
All right, make me the roll.
Oh my god!
I think that's gonna hit.
Ouch. I mean, she's so small, you probably like knock her back a little bit.
For
Holy shit.
5, real good one right on the jaw.
Oh.
How fast he spun. That was awesome!
Now, I wish you could see this, folks. We are fresh out of the pod, and we're starting with 2 of our first candidates. It's a real slobber knocker. Remember that...
If this was the sequel to The Vice of Oz, where we all trying to find body parts, there wasn't supposed to be a fight until the end, but I guess the sequel starts off hot.
Blackstar takes a quick read on Vice. Is Vice got his cat heckles up at all, or is he just like cool as a cucumber?
Sounds like he's cool as a cucumber.
I don't think he has a second speed.
What's the read? Okay. Then he looks over at 6 and starts walking towards her. Says, "There's no need for all this violence." He starts singing you a beautiful song that you can't help but start feeling like, oh, that doesn't do what I hoped it did. Does Friends not make advantage on charisma checks for one spot for the first time? What does Friends do?
It makes them treat you as a friend, I thought.
Yeah, okay. So my macro is just garbage. Creature regularly. No, it doesn't. I don't do any of this. Never mind. I do sing at her. I just don't cast the spell. I'm just like, come on, we can be friends.
Yeah,
Everyone can get along.
There's money in the third movie if it's a buddy cop.
Wait, so you didn't cast a spell?
I did not.
Okay. She's gonna like wipe her jaw, like make sure she's not bleeding or anything, and she's like smiling, like she's like kind of happy about getting hit. And she's like, "Oh, okay, this is how you want to do it, huh?" And she grabs for her warhammer. You could kind of see around her body, like this kind of like multicolored energy start to like pop up.
Oh, the CGI's unreal.
Fight!
I said that's enough.
Whoa. I have a feeling we're not here just to kill each other.
Really not.
6, you took quite a hit. Do you need some medical attention? I got something for you if you need it.
Taken worse before, but sure.
I'm gonna toss a healing potion, but it's gonna be in a can, like a carbonated can, and I'm gonna throw it over to you.
It's like Monster Energy.
Close enough. That's right. Today's combat is sponsored to you by Meat Seltzer. That's right, Meyer Oskerman's Meat Seltzer. Comes in 2 wonderful flavors, hot dog water and bubbling bratwurst. If you want the pack to punch, it's probably kosher. It might be full of protein. We're not sure. That's right, Meyer Oskerman's Meat Seltzer.
She shotguns it. She like doesn't even open the top. She's just like and drinks it all.
Shit.
Amazing.
And she's like, "What? This is disgusting."
Well, it was free. It's a sponsorship. I can't do anything about that. But at least you heal 1d4 plus 2.
As you finish drinking this 6, the voice on the magic mouth continues.
Good. Now that you have stretched your muscles, please understand that you will be working together for the foreseeable future. So connection will be a key element of this experiment's success. You will notice that each of you, save for one, were outfitted with special suits for this task. They are your Excel suits. Your items and gears are stored safely underneath and may be removed, but please note, removing your Excel suits is not permitted until the completion of the experimentation.
Right, no snogging, got it?
I feel it necessary to mention that one of your members in your group is currently not in possession of an Excel suit. They will serve as your constant for this test, but more on that later. For now, considering that you, in some ways, have become better acquainted with one another, I need to run a few more diagnostics in order to be able to acquiesce more details. Your suits will be necessary for this experiment, but there are a few considerations I need you to understand before moving forward. You've likely noticed that each of your suits are tightly fitted to your bodies. This is for a number of reasons.
As she finishes saying this, the pedestal that was in the center of the room begins to rise again from the open hole. This time, a 2-foot-tall steel rod raises up from the surface on the center of the platform. It ends in a ball, round steel bulb at the top. And the voice says, or Alexi rather, says,
I need one of you who are currently wearing an Excel suit to make physical contact with this rod, please.
I ain't touching that shit.
What does it do?
Musa touches it.
Oh, no!
This kid is so dead. This kid is dead in 3 sessions. I'm taking a bet on this. I'm putting money on this.
I'll take the under.
Musa, as you touch it, everyone sees a bright bluish flash as an electrical surge jolts out from the top of the rod and over your hand where you touched, shocking you for D6 damage.
What did we learn?
You take 3 points of lightning
wasn't
damage. You pull your hand back, Musa, and can see on your suit that there is a bit of like a burn mark that is quickly dissipating, but you can certainly feel where your fingers were jolted by the shock as it stings and burns.
Good. As you can see, you were just electrocuted. Under normal circumstances, one would need to spend a certain amount of time dressing and healing this wound. If you were a successful adventurer or magic user, you may have other means of dealing with this issue. But should those opportunities not be present, your suits have been purposefully adjusted and modified in order to be able to control the lividity of your blood flow and healing processes. Musa, I would like for you to concentrate on the area where the damage was delivered and think about healing it. Do this now.
Well, all right. Close her eyes and does it.
As you do this, Musa, you feel the suit begin to shift, begins to tighten around the extremities and pull in towards the area where you took damage. The sensation feels strange, like a current of water against your body, but tighter and more concentrated. I need you to go ahead and remove one of your hit dice and heal by that amount.
Okay.
So the mouth is saying we're like super soldiers or something, and we got these power armors, right? Is this a combat test?
In a manner of speaking. Musa, in a manner of speaking.
She says. Is it? Are you guys able to hear that? I know sometimes
I think it like fades in when you're talking, so it starts really quiet,
okay.
and then it goes back up to like.
I'll like give it a second then. Oh wow, yeah, Musa, you heal up.
Nice.
After she says this in response, Domo, Lexi says,
Musa, your body language, as well as any of you wearing your suits, will be read by them, who can then use a mixture of your metabolism and blood supply to deliver an amount of healing that you would normally require an hour or more of rest to regain. Use this process with caution, however, as your body can only do this a certain number of times before actual extended rest is needed.
The pedestal begins to lower again, disappearing into the floor.
Let's move on to the next portion of your pre-test preparations.
Within a minute, it rises again. This time, a strange-looking purple wand lay on top, sticking out from the center of the platform.
During your experimental excursions, let's call them, your suits will be building up a specialized pressure at random times due to the unique existential scenario you will find yourselves in. I'd like for one of you wearing the suit, any of you really, matter of fact, all of you, if you wouldn't mind, to take a second and focus on the word Wyrd pressure in your minds.
All right, thinking about weird pressure.
As each of you do, those of you wearing the suits, feel a number written in common form on the palms of your gloved hands. It's both physical, but you can also feel it on your hands. You wouldn't have to even look to know what the number is. As each of you kind of take a look at the palm of your gloves, you see the number 0 displayed and can also feel the shape. The voice continues.
It will be imperative that you keep this pressure as low as possible. The results could be hazardous if not properly maintained. To demonstrate, I need one of you to please make physical contact with the device on the pedestal.
Domo whips around and touches her nose.
This
Do a
thing
nose
gonna
ghost.
shock me again.
No.
Is this everyone?
No? Well,
Or
okay.
just suits?
Just
think it
people
was
with
everybody.
suits.
Yeah, everybody with suits.
Musa, since you said it won't shock her, Musa grabs it.
Okay. Musa, as you grab it, I need you to please make me a D25 roll.
Oh, God. D25.
17.
Ugh.
Musa, you touch it, and nothing seems different at first. However, as you finally let go, wondering exactly what may happen, and look around to each of the others in the room here, you notice that each of their faces are indistinguishable from your own.
Whoa. You guys can do that too? I didn't know that. Thought I was the only one.
What are you talking about?
Well, you all your faces that look like me. You all look like me.
Domo, like,
Change your
touches her
face.
tusks.
I think you're seeing things. Why don't you sit down a spell?
Musa, please roll me a D3.
Three.
The voice continues.
This arcane item has been engineered to trigger your suit's pressure buildup. The effect that Musa is currently witnessing is what is known as a Wyrd surge. Some may be visible only to the user, some may affect everyone. There are those of you here who may be more intimately knowledgeable regarding wild magic and the surges it can produce. Consider the Wyrd surge the stranger kin, one that the family typically doesn't like to invite to family gatherings. While on your excursions, you will trigger this Wyrd surge at any point randomly while taking any meaningful physical action. The Wyrd is unlike any type of standardized magic we know of, even alien to the standards we've come to recognize from wild magic itself. Its limits, and I cannot overstate this, are unknowable. Suffice it to say, the more Wyrd surges you trigger, the higher pressure your suit will undergo.
As you look down, Musa, you feel a shifting on your palm, and you now see where once there was 0, 3 displays.
Oh. That's probably not good.
Musa, please focus as you did previously with your electrocution. This time breathing slow breaths and thinking about a release of pressure, letting go of that buildup.
She does.
As you do, a strange sensation again washes over you as your suit tightens for a moment and then gives a little, returning back to something that feels like equilibrium. Please mark off another hit die and roll a 1d3.
Oh, okay. I see.
Would any of us have any previous knowledge of the Wyrd?
That is up to your characters.
That's just something they add in post, bro.
Hey, Blackstar, you remember that Indigo Showers tour we saw that night? We thought he was all on the dust. Maybe it was the Wyrd.
Ben, my friend.
Mew says you finish feeling the sensation. The number shifts from 3 to 2 on your palm.
Ooh. That's a weird sensation.
Luckily, I've modified the Excel suits to have a limiter, and therefore maximum pressure of 10. But even then, the results are not finitely predictable. Keep this number as close to 0 as possible, and do not ever think about attempting to exceed this maximum. I have ensured it to be physically impossible to do so. That's enough for the base training measures for your suit maintenance. It looks like all of you are still alive, and the room you're in is not destroyed or removed from this plane of existence. So let us discuss the rest of the experiment's details in person.
You each watch as a door previously unseen opens at the far side of the room. A golem-like creature steps inside from the opening, its stocky humanoid body made of what looks like a reflective silver. Stands around 5.5 feet tall with a bald, bulbous head and large, rotund, drooping chin, practically the same size. With a wave as it sort of clinks, stopping, it waves and beckons for you all to follow it.
Sure, why not?
Let's go, let's go.
I'm gonna kind of lag behind and stand next to Six.
Psst. Hey, Bunny,
Yeah.
you from the Feywild?
No.
Oh, you don't speak Sylvan or nothing?
No.
Mm.
Wait, do I? Are bunnies from the Feywild? I don't know this, y'all.
No,
You don't have to
mean,
be.
You don't have to be. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the Hagen Jan are, but
Yeah, their
doesn't mean you
origins may be in the Fae, but you could have always just been born and grown up here in the Twixt.
Okay, yeah. She's not from the Fey.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, it's fine, it's fine. We'll be thick as thieves, trust me.
You look like you can handle yourself. You want to team up?
Oh,
Kill this thing?
I think that sounds just lovely. I'm a leader of men in Myrrh, you see, a real tactician.
And she kind of points at her forehead.
Oh, a real thinker then.
Oh yeah, smartest in me class.
Good. But you can fight.
Oh yeah, we're whispering. So.
I've been known to get in a scrap or two. I like to lead from the back, so to speak.
All right. Well, you want to kill this thing then? Let's go.
We're gonna kill something, that's for true.
Oh yeah, I can edit your weird pressure here on the stream. You'll notice at the top left of everyone's pictures, save for Muzz, just because she doesn't have a suit on. Everyone has a weird pressure. Kevin's or Musa's has changed too.
Nice.
And you can use your Twitch channel points to maybe help or make that worse. This golem-like creature leads you guys as you kind of have this conversation, Domo and Six, towards the back. The creature leads you down a white, featureless hallway. At the end, another door frame takes shape, and a white, featureless door kind of shifts out of the way, revealing a larger room than the one you guys previously were in. Several glass panels silently hover in the air, their surfaces covered in what look like advanced formulas and mathematical equations. Several other golems stand at the floating panels around, tapping at the screens as you see symbols and numbers shift and change on their surfaces. Standing amongst the creatures in the center of the room is what looks like a female genius, Lexi. She towers over most of the golems in the room at what looks like 6 feet tall. She makes eye contact and pushes away a large glass panel that obstructs her view in between you and her. Her hair, a familiar bowl cut, a standard of the genius, separated into a white and pink coloration. A transparent bluish visor covers her eyes. Her skin is pale and mostly covered by a featureless white lab coat. One of her arms and both of her legs, visible under the coat, seem to be artificial and made of a chrome-like substance. Let's see here. Did husband and wife buy anything? I don't think they did. Okay. Just making sure. Lexi, seeing you all, begins to speak now, no longer having to talk through a magic mouth. Welcome to R&D proper. Let's continue our conversation from before. I still have more information to share with you before we run our first official test excursion. Let us talk about the purpose of this experiment, codenamed PERPLEXELLEL. At an undisclosed time in the past, the Maesters discovered an aberrant entity that we took in for further study. I was tasked to head this role. This entity displayed unusual properties, amorphous and small, but able to absorb living matter in order to evolve and grow. It displayed an innate hunger to consume whatever living matter it could. The bigger and more sentient, the better. At first, I assumed the being was an andaloid, but my recent theories point to it originating elsewhere. Truly, it is an anomaly, the first of its kind to be discovered here in the Twixt. The Wyrd is a phenomenon experienced in isolated pockets of the Twixt plane, for those of you unaware. But never has there been a creature on record able to manifest this energy on its own. Except this one that I speak of. I have codenamed it Heximal, and spent the last several months testing out its capabilities and potential, especially with its connection to the Wyrd. During a testing phase of blasting the creature with various photonic rays, it responded by manipulating its Wyrd energies, in what could only be described as pulling myself and it to an entire parallel reality, if but for a few seconds. A monumental discovery, if not for the consequences it must be considered afterwards. Further testing showed that the Wyrd energies within its material form may be limitless. My equipment, she says as she sort of like waves a chrome hand around the room, some of the most advanced here in the Twixt, cannot accurately measure the degree to which it can manipulate the Wyrd. What I realized is that this creature, with its propensity to absorb other living matter and grow stronger, coupled with its ability to eventually manipulate its Wyrd energies, might someday lead to a version of itself somewhere out there in the various parallel realities, where it grows intelligent enough to be able to use this effect on its own. This would be a dangerous, multi-reality threat if it ever grew to this point. Imagine a being whose only purpose is to consume all living matter, gaining the abilities and intelligence of the beings it absorbs, who then realizes it can use its powers to travel to parallel realities and continue the process. We are talking about an infinite supply of food and thus power for Heximal. That brings me to the objective of this experiment. I wish to test out your suits in order for you to seek and destroy potential hexamal variants and what I have termed collateral realities that may deem themselves a threat to the macroverse.
This is what everyone fucking volunteered for.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like fun.
Sounds like bloody suicide.
It sounds like we're gonna hear something that universe will never hear again.
I didn't volunteer for anything. You guys are here by choice?
We're all here now. That's what matters, really.
Better than sitting around all day and doing nothing.
Hey, I got a job.
I would much prefer to sitting around all day personally.
Gotta get out and see everything.
So,
Like, weave the tapestry of life.
I mean, this is a, high-paying gig, right? The output at the end of this is going to be worth all the work, right? You're not just going to feed us off to some crazy slime monster you got locked down in the basement or something.
We no longer use that creature. You will be awarded whatever amount of contractual agreement, whether that was through monetary means or otherwise. Yes.
Does that include me?
Even you, 6.
Good.
You sure you don't need any, cosmetics or anything tested around here instead? Because I could test some cosmetics personally.
Believe it or not, this job may be safer.
Oh.
I do.
Alright, we'll take the dimension monster then. That's fine.
To assuage your fears, Domo, understand that the versions of Hexamal I am sending you to neutralize are versions who have not yet fully realized their own potential. Versions that could be taken down. You may have... Oh, go ahead.
We just gotta slay some kids, right? Just youngling monsters and all that.
Yeah.
Potentially, yes.
Why you have to add the adjective to it? They're just monsters.
Right. Just monsters. Apple polylogies. Sorry.
Yeah.
You've likely realized by now the link between your suits and Hexamal, as I've described. You will be using your suit's ability to manipulate the Wyrd and travel to the designated realities I assign you to in order to find its version of Hexamal and neutralize it. The suits will be able to notify you when you are close to a variant of itself. This is due to the fact that the suits you wear are in fact the same Hexamal I experimented on previously. As she says this, your suits begin to shift and move from within. And rising from each of your collars is a white-looking creature with a ghastly face.
Bloody fuck!
Whoa. Well, okay, that's
Interesting.
That's new. That's something.
I think I'm on the dust now, too.
A single red eye peers at each of you, its bottom half merged with the inside of your suits. One or two of them look to you and say, "Hungry."
Oh,
Me too, little bro.
do you eat my, shall we say, well, when I eat, I eventually, is that what is it that you eat?
The creature sort of stares at you and then begins to recede back into your suit as Lexi continues to speak.
I don't, is it, because I need to, okay.
Hey, little buddy, you want a meat seltzer?
It says nothing as it recedes back to your suit. Lexi says, of course, an important factor in ensuring you are properly sedated during the symbiosis process, but there is no need to fear, Rouge. These versions, which I call hexes, have been modified so that they cannot consume any living material besides their collateral variants. After my initial findings from the hexamal specimen, I worked to split the creature into various subversions of itself, each of which display a base rudimentary intelligence. I also modified their gene structure in order for them to maintain their mimetic appearance as a standardized Macer testing outfit. But be aware, you are in fact wearing living clothing. Your Hexies will be able to communicate with you, sharing, as of this time, an unknown ability to sense other versions of themselves nearby. This may help you to track the variant versions of itself on your excursions. They share some sort of hive consciousness, so you may use them to communicate with one another, even if at great distances. After discovering the existence of these collateral realities, I used a series of advanced algorithms to help determine which ones may contain a variant of Heximal. Your task will be to use your Hexie's weird energies to travel to these realities, find its variant of Heximal, weaken it through combat or other means enough so that the Hexie suits can absorb it, removing that threat from that particular collateral reality.
Sounds simple enough. Beat up the beastie, have our living armor eat it.
That is correct. Some realities you visit may have minor, insignificant differences from our zero reality, while others may have larger, more substantial differences. I will use a special device to trigger the suits to travel to these realities, but be mindful that your only way back to this one, zero reality, will be through you absorbing the energies of that collateral reality's variant Heximal. You need to be as efficient and quick as you possibly can on these excursions. As noted previously, your presence in these realities is unnatural, and will give way to the suits occasionally triggering the weird. Maintaining your weird pressure, in turn, will be paramount to your success.
So, basically, succeed or we don't come back.
That's correct.
Jolly.
So is there any chance that, since there's multiples of this target, we're gonna bump into ourselves?
A possibility, though if that was to happen, I strongly suggest you avoid them.
Oh, no. I've seen the films. Go into the future, or Back to the Past, or something like that. Yeah. We know all about it. Don't interfere. Don't fight yourself. Don't be your own dad. Yeah, it's simple. Don't worry. Vice, you were in it, weren't you?
Vice is dead.
I'm just thinking about how this suit is alive. And it's on me.
You watch. Oh, go ahead, Tally.
Does Tally know why she doesn't have a suit?
Lexi waves a hand your way. That is where your constant comes in. Tally, you do not wear a suit, but you will still be able to travel with them due to their ability of having an extra buildup of weird energy. Without a suit, Tally, this helps you to balance the local area around yourselves from completely destabilizing. I ask for you to bring along a notebook and whatever other supplies you can in order to log whatever information possible along the way. Once inside a collateral reality, I can no longer maintain observation nor communicate with your party. It will be up to you to stay safe, find, and neutralize Heximal. Tally, the research you gather on these excursions will prove fruitful for my studies. Is this understood?
Interesting. Understood. Was this in my contract as well?
That's correct.
And the monetary price that we agreed upon?
That is there as well.
All right, then.
There are several collateral realities I plan to send you to. Thus, this experiment will likely last for several days, at least for those wearing the suits, during which time you will be provided food and board as well as access to supplies when needed. Completion of these assignments will see you rewarded with your pay/benefits that you signed on for contractually, of course. Any other questions? Or shall I go over the first excursion's details with you?
So, can we, like, well, let's say we just find some loot lying around in these, what do you call them, collateral dimensions?
Collateral realities.
Right. Can we take the loot?
These collateral realities have double meaning. The only thing I care about for this research is your neutralization of the being Hexamal. Anything else, even unintended fatalities, do not matter.
Oh,
Yep, that's the mastermind. Always so warm and cuddly.
no more questions, love.
Let's
What?
get going.
I have one more. There is no backup plan if we can't find these beasties. We can't get back.
This
How does Tally get back? She's not got a suit.
Tally will also
Very good question.
be using the extra buildup from the absorbed Hexamal variant to travel back, just as she will be traveling along with you all. If you are unable to find this Hexamal variant, you will be trapped in the collateral reality, and the buildup of your weird energies, well, I don't know.
No pressure, right? Just kidding, because it's weird pressure.
I elbow Vice in the hip.
That's funny. That was funny.
I like you.
Who, me?
Oh, you too.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
You want a piggyback ride?
Yes. I
Wait.
like climb up your back. Mookie.
As you do
It's so
this,
weird.
Musa, you watch as with a couple flicks at a glass panel, Lexi brings up an illusory planet that appears on its surface and begins to spin around. My algorithms have alerted me to a collateral reality where a Hexamal variant currently exists on the planet Rear. Maester record... Oh, go ahead.
You said weird.
It is spelled differently.
You say because it's like a bum.
Yeah. It's still.
Matters.
Mesa records indicate this planet is a Class E, even smaller than Neogokyo. Here in Zero Reality, it contains no cities or towns save for a small village called Lumpton that sits in a forest clearing. Its makeup is solely gnome, who, at least according to our last reports, were having trouble with a nearby hill giant. I've been able to triangulate Hexamal's general proximity to the area around Lumpton. But please understand, this excursion process is not perfect. I can get you close, but you may need to travel a bit to reach the destination yourselves. Be aware that any of these details I've shared with you may differ in the collateral reality, but there is no way on my end to tell how much. You will have to figure that out for yourselves when you get there.
That does bring another question then. These suits, they provide some survivability? What if we go somewhere where it's all kill you air?
That would be
Toxic in that.
highly unfortunate, and thus I've worked the algorithms to try and avoid that as much as possible. However, to your question, I want to mention that your suits have a certain range of augmentation available to them. And Lexi brings up a list of items that you can check out here.
Nice.
You have 12 points to expend in any of these areas. Some of you may have already done this, but those of you who haven't will probably want to do this before you go. You don't have to tell me what they are, just tell me when they trigger.
Cool.
As you look over this, Lexi says, before the excursion, it's important to note that your suits can be augmented here in the lab to better suit your abilities and potentially help out Rouge. You may not be able to have control over when a weird surge triggers, but you will be able to gain some benefit from it at least. Keep in mind, you'll need to return here to the lab before making any adjustments to them.
So, to be clear, Jason, if you choose, like, for example, the level 6, you don't also get the level 4 and the level 2 stuff, right?
So you have to buy each of these at one level at a time.
Oh, okay.
But all effects stack. So if you put 2 points, 4 points, and 6 points to get all levels in defense, you get all of those abilities, and they stack and trigger when the Wyrd does.
Nice.
So you can sort of be broad and kind of cover your bases with a whole bunch of different stuff, or you can just focus on one and get a whole bunch of stacked abilities as you go.
Nice. Health. Putting it all in health, baby.
Give me all that magic.
What does a half cover do?
Gives them disadvantage.
Plus 2 AC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus 2 AC.
Will we be able to switch these at like after a long rest, or is
Here
it?
when we're at 0 reality.
Yeah, it's going to be here at the lab.
Okay.
So I may need to edit that document.
Could do defense.
I'm thinking arcane and defense would be enough.
Take a moment to look over these options, and when you are ready, it will be time for your first excursion. As she says this, there is a bay area over on the back end of this white room. The circular wall begins to shift, and there is a large platform. Think of it sort of like the Star Trek teleporter. That's just this sort of like circular platform for each of you to be able to step on.
Domo walks up, slaps the health button 3 times, and then proudly steps on the little teleporter thing.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as you guys warp, we'll take a 5-minute break so people can go to the PP room. So you guys don't have to pick right now.
Okay.
Yeah. 6 will follow Domo.
You step up. Does everyone else kind of step up? Tally, everybody else? Okay.
Yeah.
So you said you wanted all this information and data recorded, right?
Correct.
If I happen to skim through and pick a few parts that aren't, well, too revealing of our information, I can use it for my show, correct?
No.
I love it. I like the hard no.
All right.
Gotta get you a better agent. I know a guy.
All right.
Allie writes down the rejection.
He said no records.
Yeah, but she's supposed to for them.
Very well then. I guess I'll just record stuff here one-on-one with your discretion.
Ooh.
I think that could be made acceptable.
Could be quite interesting.
He'll step up then.
Black Star goes up and punches a bunch of stuff in, tries a bunch of stuff. It all happens like instantaneously. And then he's like, "Ooh, I like that one." And then, and he goes and stands over by everybody.
You
Well,
feel your
this is
suit like tightening and letting go and tightening and letting go and tightening and letting go.
Woo! I'm gonna have to remember this later. Everyone,
Ooh,
I wish to address you all. We're all gonna be at our best while we're down there. And he looks at everybody in the eye and says, "And I hope that we all learn something new while we're there. Let's go!"
Just stick close to me and follow orders, and we'll get out of this right as rain.
Oh, I like your posse.
I think I found a new agent.
Orders have never been my thing, but it sounds like fun, so I'm gonna stick around.
Think of them as friendly suggestions that will keep us all alive.
I'm thinking this is going to be a new hit single.
Vice, you step up too?
Yeah, three taps on the health button, and assumes a statuesque pose, cape billowing in the wind that for some reason exists inside of a lab.
You look over and it's Blackstar magicking all the wind for you.
Musa would help with that.
It's like showtime.
Capes are dangerous, but it looks good on you. Dangerous even.
You watch as Lexi sort of takes a second to keep her eyes on you as you all step up on the platform, as she like quickly is typing at a hovering glass panel. A number of different mathematical equations and things flicker by it. She looks through the glass back to each of you and says, "One more time before I begin the process, what is your mission?"
To find the guy, the thing, the monster. He's made of the suit. The suit's made of him.
Right.
Find your anomaly, wax it, let the suit eat it, and then come back.
And have fun along the way.
That's pretty succinct. Very well. I shall begin the excursion process now. Remember, once you travel there, I have no way to speak or contact you. Be quick, do your job, and come back. She begins to type. The individual areas underneath your feet in a circular pattern begin to light up a little bit. You all wait, waiting for some big flashy effect. But the room doesn't really seem to change at first. But then each of you slowly notice it, even you, Tally, not wearing a suit. The room begins to reflect itself, like one half looking in a mirror. Then another section does the same. Before long, the whole room seems to be splintering into fractals of itself. The sound of the golems and machinery overlapping with a growing sound of echoing wind. The fractals of the lab suddenly pull back, and then just as they do, quickly burst towards you all. As this happens, the pieces of the fractal shards begin to shoot straight towards each of you. Your bodies reflexively pull back at the sight, but the pieces pass your vision without any physical interaction. Behind them, where your view was once that of a lab, is now a dark forest.
Nice.
So dark and foresty.
Oh my! This is the first time I've
perfect.
ever been outside.
And with that, let's go ahead and take a quick fiver. Any of you guys who want to just take a second peek at that suit modification, it's in your journals tab, as where I usually put it under the rules. It's the Excel suit augmentations.
You have one that we can copy and paste from?
I can make one. Yeah, I just
tonight,
did.
but eventually.
Yeah, I'll do it over
Alright.
this week. I just forgot to do it before we premiere.
That's all good. I'll make one then. Don't worry about it.
And
I
then
grabbed one from the Facebook chat.
oh, there you go. Yeah, if you want to, you can always just sort of like click on this one and then just do copy image address and paste it in a new tab, and then that'll give you a much.
I mean, like, copy the text off of it.
Yeah, I'll make one of those too, for sure.
Yeah. That's all good. That's all I need
Let's
for now.
see here. As we are hanging out on our break, Bay redeemed the volatile Wyrd, so as soon as we kick back into gear, the Wyrd is in effect. Fantastic. Thanks, Bay.
Yes.
I also want to do a giveaway now. I am giving away the physical copy of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. And let's see who's currently in the chat so that I can give a roll of the die.
Good luck.
Commander Root doesn't count. Let's go ahead and roll. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, Wondrabed. Hopefully you're US based because you just won a physical copy of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. I'm gonna actually put that in my notes here. I'm here, but I already own that book. Oh, okay, okay. Well, yeah, let me re-roll then. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Yeah, let me roll again. Okay, it is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, speak of the devil, Clyde, you have been selected. Hopefully you are US bound because you just won the physical copy of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. I hope you do not as well own the book. Let me take your name down real quick here so that I can message you afterwards. He says no congrats to you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Clyde. You deserve it, buddy. Yeah, I'll message you after this session so I can get some mailing details and get that sent your way. You don't have it yet? Well, perfect. Well, now you do, and it'll be sent over to you so that you can flip through it. I haven't even looked at it yet, but it seems really cool, so I'm excited. So congratulations. Yeah, we're gonna take a break here. I'm gonna leave this. I usually go to like a be right back screen, but I'm gonna leave it up right now just because it looks like all of our little Discord character art is working. So I don't want to F with that. We're just gonna leave it as is, and then when everyone gets back and becomes available again, we'll keep on going here.
Don't forget to kill the mics this time.
Yeah, yeah.
suits like right now? Or...
Nope. Just remember it so that whenever the Wyrd does trigger, you can get that effect.
Okay.
All right, so we're coming back into it. Thank you all for letting us take a quick break. You all were at one point standing in what you assumed to be a deep laboratory level under the surface of Neogokyo, the artificial moon of the Masterminds. And now find yourselves standing at what seems to be a dark forest. The cold air of the lab is now replaced by what feels like a balmy warmth. The canopy above covers most of the night sky that trickles in through the leaves above. A light mist hangs in the air, bringing it with a strange scent that feels hard to pinpoint. Oh, Husband and Wife Stream did a weird mitigation die for you, Kevin. So here's the thing. Let me finish explaining this and then we'll talk about it. The ground below your feet looks to be covered by a thick layer of dark green moss. Without any checks, no other discernible features stick out here. But before we go there, Kevin, I have built into the system, if you will go under the collection area and scroll down. If you scroll all the way down, you're going to see the rollable table section. On there is one called the Wyrd mitigation. You see that?
Is it under? I'm sorry. It's under rules.
No. Go at the top. There's the collection tab. Click that one.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
At the bottom is the Wyrd mitigation. Please roll that for me. Oh, you did already. Okay. That smoking symbol is your suit actually mitigating some of your pressure, as opposed to the more vortex-looking symbol that's on your suits that would have increased your mitigation. So give me another D3 roll.
3.
Okay. Your
Nice.
Wyrd pressure goes from a 2 back down to a 0.
Thank you.
Nice.
I'm a bit confused, honey. Is this your first time? It sounded like you had done this before.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, I kind of know what the Maesters do. I've lived with them all my life. I've never actually done it myself. Finally letting me out. I'm so excited.
Whoa,
This will
whoa.
be exciting.
So you're telling me you've lived with them your whole life? How many lunar cycles, how many moons you've been counting? Like, do you know how old you are?
Let's see. I don't know. They created me a couple months ago. It's been a little bit.
Created?
Created.
Yeah, I was an experiment.
And they told you that word. They used the word created.
Yeah.
How is that
We
possible?
have magic. They were trying to make a weapon, of course. And they got me. Yeah.
Can I do a medicine check on Musa?
Sure.
See if I can find any traces of. I mean, it's weird, but just. I mean, I'm not cutting off the leg off of, cutting a tree and counting the rings, but can I determine if what she's saying is true, like age and health-wise?
Sure. Make a check.
God, don't be a 20.
That's the real reason why we have to do this quick, is because child labor laws. We're gonna have to pay a lot of overtime if we stay on set for too long with the little one.
Well, if it's just about my size, I take a second and you see my body just sort of grow. I'm now, I don't know, 5'8".
Oh.
You are.
Is that better?
full of-
Does that work better?
You are full of surprises.
18 total.
Your initial checks with your medicine would have revealed everything that would have lined up with a human young girl, but now it seems to be thrown off by the fact that this still young looking girl is now extremely tall.
I've been on the road and I've treated a couple of pyrotechnics and flash wounds, heavy nights of drinking and stuff, but I've never seen anything like you, dear. You're one in a million.
You'll never meet anyone like me. At least that's what the maester said. I'm one of a kind.
As a bona fide super soldier.
I could say the rest of that for you three.
Who three?
Point to the rabbit, the buff bro, and our hobgoblin friend.
Oh, me? No. Just a regular leader of men. A heroic leader.
I've led a few people in my time. I wouldn't call myself heroic, of course.
You look like you've bled a few men quite a few times.
Probably once or twice.
So, some of you said you didn't volunteer for this? How did you end up here then? I don't understand.
I'm sure it was just the bunny who said that. Am I correct?
Right. The rest of us completely voluntary. 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts. Everyone but the rabbits.
Oh yeah, I was in prison for a life sentence. But now I'm here, I guess.
Dangerous. What'd you do?
Well,
Honestly, all I did was steal a few spelljammers. I don't really see the big deal.
Oh, that's not violent. I feel much better about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I had a crew, and we would sail.
What happened to said crew?
Oh, I have no idea. They're probably all dead now.
where were they
Interesting.
last you saw them?
We were near Neogokyo, and I was just trying to board another ship, friendly, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And yeah. The police came, and it was pretty violent. Got sentenced to life. The same old.
Is that what normally happens when you visit friendly ships? That's okay.
Well,
It sounds like a misunderstanding. Them folk around here, they don't look kindly upon us Fae folk,
complete misunderstanding.
Discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. That's I guess we use our suits. We should pick a direction, I guess.
Can I investigate the area?
Sure.
See if there's any signs of civilization or anything that would point us in the right direction to a road.
Sure.
Ooh, 24. 19 is the best thing we can roll in this.
Nice. With a investigation of 24, you don't really catch any indications of a road or path, nor footsteps of any kind, but you do notice two, probably 2-inch wide, maybe actually 3-inch wide tracks that seem to just run parallel to one another with a spacing of probably about 4 or so feet that sort of indent the mossy ground that begin to pick up not too far away from you and lead off into the forest.
I think we should follow that.
What direction is it?
All right. Everyone begins to follow this track. On your character tokens, just to note as a way for you all to keep track yourselves for one another as well, since you guys can see each other's bars, your health, and your hit die. It's the red and green bar. Your third bar, I've colored it purple. That is for your weird pressure, so that you guys can keep tabs on how high or low your weird pressure is.
Nice.
So yeah, that's currently 0 out of 10 for everyone, but the volatile weird is still in effect. So, following Domo, she sort of kicks and sniffs around.
Oh, no. Domo is last in marching
okay.
order.
So she
He's
just
pushing-
points the way. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, you muscle boy, why don't you go first?
Already on it. He's already walked off.
Hey, Domo, you mind if
So we
I
follow.
mind if I stick close to you?
Oh, of course. See, I come from a background of the Bastion, you see, so I'm used to rank and file. I figure I'm the ranking officer here, so as long as everyone can follow orders, we'll be peachy keen.
Yeah, I come from a background of bass guitar. I kind of just hang in the back and keep the melody going, keep everything flowing, and usually on tours I make sure that no one's stage diving into concrete or pits or anything dangerous. So
Military police, got it?
yeah. I work with the security too, but mainly medicine. Like I said, people diving in front of fires and stuff. They don't rock and roll. You know, you got it.
Right. Lot of dangerous, scraps and such. I'm sure we'll be able to keep our little recruits on their feet.
Gotcha. You need anything, you let me know.
Oh, at ease, Private.
Kim just awkwardly salutes.
Jason, can I make maybe a survival roll to see if I sense any danger in this forest or anything?
Sure, make all the rolls you want.
Jason.
Wait, okay. So what ability rolls trigger the weird?
Active ability rolls, like you're physically doing active things. So initiative doesn't trigger it.
Okay.
Stuff like
Pretty much
that.
everything else.
So
Everything
basically,
else.
any ability checks
Yeah.
hit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, any ability checks.
Okay, let's roll.
Mm-hmm.
That was a 2,
That was a 2.
but plus 3, so that's a 5.
Okay. Before we go over what you find, please roll me a D25.
Okay, how do we do this? R/. What is it?
Slash R.
Slash
D
R.
25.
D 25. No! Slash
So make sure there's a space between rolled and 25.
D 25. Oh, that's a 25.
25 out of
I
25.
think you just
25,
rolled a
wow.
25.
Yeah, try it again.
You gotta do. Really? Hold on, 1d20. We just both get really lucky there. Oh no, I guess I just got lucky.
Okay, yeah, that looks like a 25.
Okay.
Let me see what 25 is.
Oh no, she also got a 25.
Yeah.
Oh wow, straight up, nice.
Okay. You look around, 6. Were you trying to see... You were trying to look out for danger?
Yeah.
It's pretty dark here. Not necessarily dark enough to be low light, but there is a pretty thick canopy up above, and you don't really see anything out of place. You can hear the sounds of wild creatures in the distance and the flitter of what look like mosquitoes and stuff here, but you don't see anything that would immediately denote that there's trouble.
Okay.
Also, the weird did trigger, but I can't tell you what happens yet.
Yay.
Of course, always fun. That's a good sign.
I'm gonna assume it's nothing bad and that it's all good.
Sure, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
So you guys are following these tracks that Domo found?
Yes.
Pally's kind of walking behind Musa, just measuring, wondering how best to ask questions. Just silently measuring and taking notes that there's now a tall little girl now walking.
Awesome.
My
Also,
hair is now white and pink, like the chick who gave us the mission.
Lexi, yeah. Give me a D3 roll, man.
A D3.
Mm-hmm.
D3. So 2.
You feel a sensation on your hand as your weird pressure raises to 2.
Okay.
You guys continue to follow the tracks left here of don't look like footsteps, perhaps some type of cart or something, difficult to tell, that pushes through the moss. The air here is thick and there's lots of vegetation, and you guys kind of have to climb over, sometimes kind of push past foliage and other kinds of greenery as you push through. You continue to follow the area here for 5 or so minutes when up ahead you hear the sounds of what seems like someone yelling. Help! Help! The sounds of what sounds like someone in distress.
Wow. I say we go the other way.
Leader of men, indeed. This way, everyone.
We should go see who it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe they'll be fun to play with.
This is how good men die. Seen it before.
Roadside traps, you
don't
never
have to get
stop.
close. If I can get close, probably I can talk to them.
It might work.
Well, I can talk to them if I can see them. If I could just think it out loud, maybe they'll hear me.
Oh yeah, you're one of them psychic types. All right, let's creep a little closer.
Psychic type. What am I thinking right now?
I can't read your mind. I can only talk through it. And she says that, looking at him but not saying a word.
Some psych. Wait. What? Who said that?
Right here, buddy.
It's bugging me out.
You guys press forward, pushing closer to the sound of the yells that continue. You find yourselves pushing into somewhat of a clearing, and up ahead you see a male-looking gnome in dirty farmer clothing being held tight by several vines that whip animatedly around him. Both arms and legs have been wrapped by these viney tendrils. Nearby in the brush, you can see what looks like a toppled wheelchair made from wood. Have you guys moved close enough to where he could see you?
What would be close enough?
Just, you can see him and stay like in the tree line so he doesn't see you, or you could press forward so that he actually makes eye contact. What would you like to do?
To where I could see him.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
Like where he's eye contact, yeah.
Okay. So you see him like trying to fight against these tendrils, and he looks forward and makes eye contact with you and yells, "Help me, please!"
What do you need help with?
Check.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sure, make your
Domo's
check.
immediately suspicious of this man getting attacked by plants for some reason. Is this man in danger, or is he trying to trick us?
You watch as he fights against the vines, kind of pulling his arms in, that they immediately pull back out taut, and he yells in pain. He clearly seems to be being attacked.
Should we help him?
Yes.
All right. Everybody in formation. Let's get him out of this jam.
Let's go.
All right.
Allie tries to speak to him, like in her mind, trying to tell him to calm down there, please. Take a breath. Hold on.
He seems to look around confused as you do this, Tally, and says, Whoever you are, please help! and he continues to struggle. And as you each ready yourselves, I'm going to have you all roll for initiative, please.
Oh, thank God you already explicitly stated that the Wyrd doesn't trigger on initiative.
It does not.
We did do that, right? No, right?
Yeah, it looks
That's
right.
right, yeah.
Right?
Sweet. I mean, I meant to do that.
Go ahead and add each of you.
I'm not rolling good. This is a bad start.
That's
To input your initiative,
Jeez.
dang, dude.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Mose,
Don't all
just
go at once.
click your number there in the turn order, and you can type in your initiative. And then when you hit enter, it should update. 1.5.
I didn't actually roll a 1, so I figure I'll go before 6.
Yeah.
Where do I type this, sir?
Turn order thing
Yeah,
on
it
the
should
left.
pop up on your screen. It's called the turn order on the left side. If you'll scroll down, you'll see. Oh, there you go. All right, let's go by descending. Oh, there we go. Bay says, how is it that when I make the Wyrd happen, all of a sudden Roll20 wants to be nice to the rolls?
Get fucked.
Hey, you did trigger it once already. Which it's about to run out here at 11:35, so you can replenish that whenever you want. Domo, you are up first in the turn order. This is this sort of just nameless icon here. This is the gnome that seems to be being tangled by the strange vines that are kind of shooting out at the base here, the moss.
Real quick, sorry. Can I change my starting position because 6 would have stayed back? She does not. This is a trap.
Sure. We'll put Nasher up there, right?
No, buddy, I'm hanging in the back.
I think it's just gonna be like Vice up front, everybody in a cluster behind, because he's stupid and just heard go forward.
Okay. I'll ask for marching order next time. But go ahead and.
I'll switch with you, Flash.
Okay. So
You go
there,
down
you
there,
can be
Flash.
right there.
Oh, did you needed it? Okay.
I mean, I'll be second. I'll be off tank.
All right, troops, listen and listen well. You're gonna pull up some dandelions. You gotta pull them up by the roots.
And I'm going to take the help action as a bonus action from 30 feet away. And the next ally that attacks the roots, or the plant monster thing, gets advantage on their attack.
Hmm.
And for my main attack, I'm just going to fire... can I use... Actually, I'm going to use my reaction to hold an attack for one of my teammates to be adjacent, at which point I will fire an arrow at the plant monster.
Okay.
So I've got an arrow knocked, and I've got my bow drawn, and I'm waiting for my expendable teammates to charge in.
All right. With that, we pass from Domo. Normally we'd go to Nasher, but each of you hear the sound of the treetop branches being shifted around, and as you look back, you see this thing approaching you from the rear, floating about 30 feet up in the air. It looks like a spherical, maybe like balloon-like fungus. There's a singular eye that stares down at you and whipping what look like tentacles around its body. It seems to be closing in on you. But that's as far as it gets here.
This is a bloody trap.
Nasher, you are up.
Do I see that thing behind me?
Absolutely. Everyone
What in
sees
the-
it.
Holy crap, what in the hell is that?
Knowledge
You
checks are
guys seen
free.
this thing? I'm going to take a knowledge check. History.
Sure.
Let's see if I know.
Nice.
With a 15 Nasher, you have maybe not run into necessarily, but you've certainly seen or heard about these things before. This is a gas spore. From that history check, you know that they are not particularly aggressive. They are sort of like a balloon-like fungus. They almost kind of look like a beholder from a distance. But you know that they're sort of more plant-like in nature. And you remember something about them being pretty dangerous if they get too close, considering their namesake.
Interesting. I'm gonna look at it and cast Enthrall.
Okay, what's that do?
Hopefully that's enough. It has to make a Wisdom saving throw, and if not, it's charmed. And it's automatically friendly with us. Yes, I'll toss it up.
Is that what Enthrall does?
I think that
I'll
has
link
to
it
be
up.
humanoid too, isn't it?
That's definitely not humanoid.
You never know. This is a alternate dimension or something.
No, it's not humanoid.
Okay.
It doesn't say humanoid.
Maybe misremembering. How bad?
I'll toss it.
What was the DC?
DC is 15 Wisdom.
It just makes it.
Oh.
Come on, buddy. Just stay a while. You don't have to. It's all right. I promise. We're friendly. We might even have some food for you.
Are you calling the bloody fart bag to get closer to us?
No, I'm hoping it'll stay away from us.
It sort of pauses for just a second and kind of looks a bit spaced out, but then redirects its focus on you all and continues to kind of silently descend as it hovers through the air.
End my turn.
All right. As you end your turn, each of you hear the sound of shifting leaves as another similar creature appears over to your right.
Probably not good.
Harper, or Rouge, you're up.
Black Star, god damn it.
Black Star.
It's gonna change every week, don't worry about
Oh
it.
god.
or like every mission.
My
He's a
nightmare.
rock star, he's gotta reinvent himself. I am going to, as a bonus action, the flavor for this is he pulls out one guitar and he looks at it, he throws it away, then he pulls out another one and it's giant. He's like, yeah, this'll do. He starts playing a little song, and then you start hearing a bass line join in, and he splits and manifests an echo. So I need another token, Jason, if you just want to like give me a copy of that one.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I create a copy of myself of moving sound that I'm gonna put right here to protect the squishies.
You can put that whatever you want, and if you want to, you can color it so it's different than yours.
I don't have that ability apparently as a player.
Do you want, what tint do you want?
It's sound gray, I guess, as gray as you can make it that looks good.
There you go.
Works for me. And then I'll start out, you know, he says as he's strumming along, every good rock show starts with a little fireworks, eldritch blast, one on each of the flying guys.
Okay.
Wow! That is a at advantage crit fail.
What?
Wow.
Oh
The first
my
attack I make.
God!
Yes.
Oh my god!
Before we talk about your attack, please give me a D25 roll.
D25 roll.
My god.
Jesus, 16.
Remember when we introduced the party? They're dead now.
Right at the time, just like the last crit I failed at. What's happening?
Melts minute meteors is cast on your spot.
With a shifting magic pop in the square above yours, Mousy just gave 6 a +1 to any of her rolls. There you go, Amanda.
Thank you, Mousy.
In these, as well as Domo, if you guys want to keep an eye on the chat, she may give some other ones.
Nice.
In the square above yours, 5 feet in front of you, Harper, a fully cooked stuffed turkey pops into existence, floating in the air. The smell is intoxicating. I need everyone within 30 feet, which I'm pretty sure is everyone, to please make me a spell save. Let's see here. A wisdom saving throw versus your Black Star's spell save DC.
Oh no.
Well, that's
What?
okay because I'm a big dummy. I used intelligence to cast
Still
that.
save.
My DC is. How do we? What's the DC? How's that again? Proficiency plus 8. This is an item that lets me cast this, so I don't have this on my character sheet.
Yes, I want to say it's proficiency plus your ability score plus 8.
Yeah, so it's a DC 11.
Okay, that's not bad.
So Maz, you're gonna roll a wisdom saving throw. That should be on your sheet, kind of over on the left side on the front.
I'm gonna activate Tides of Chaos, so I'll have advantage on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tides of Chaos.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, 6.
Saves.
What are these rolls?
Saves do not trigger the weird.
Did you just
Thank
did you
goodness.
just music a turkey into your existence?
You'd be surprised what music can do.
Also,
Force in the universe, everything.
I guess we'll never go hungry.
Harper / Blackstar, please give me a D3 roll.
D3 roll. D3. Go. Great.
You feel a sensation on your palm as your weird pressure goes up to 3. Who failed?
Oh,
Me.
What was the save? 16?
11.
11.
Musa, 6, and Flash.
Pretty much everyone got a +1 from Mousy. And Jason got 1.
Thanks, Mousy.
The +1 saves nobody else.
Thanks, Mousy.
Just so you
Uh,
know.
Tally did a great save. Blackstar saves 6. Musa. Let me see here. Flash. All 3 of you notice this stuffed turkey, this beautifully stuffed turkey. You're charmed by the deliciousness of it and need to spend your next turn doing your best to move to it and take a bite out of it.
Oh my
Hey, Blackstar, you didn't tell me you brought catering with you. Did you smuggle this from your last show?
This place is a strange place.
Wait, where's the turkey? Can you just drop like
It's-
a
It's
token?
it's like yeah, it's like right. I'll do a little
Okay.
token thing. It's like right in
Okay.
front of Harper,
All right,
like typing in
Throw
turkey
turkey.
here.
turkey.
drumstick.
Oh, I drew a turkey.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Got him.
Delicious turkey drumstick. It's like you're at Rin Fair.
Yeah.
Now back to your attack.
Yeah, sorry about that.
The first blast miss on the one up there.
Goes wide on the first blast.
22 for 10 force.
Ooh.
The second one hits, and you watch as the gas spore, like poking a balloon with a needle, just erupts. A thick, gaseous cloud sprays around it, up to what you could assume probably about 20 feet, and sprinkles down in sort of a sparkly dust that sort of dissipates in the air.
That was a big fucking blast. We need to take care of them.
Was assuming it'd be a little bit of a balloon. He says as he weaves in and out of you guys as he moves this direction, which seems like a bad idea now that I've done it.
Live and learn.
I've got decent taste, see. And that is bonus action and move. I'm done.
All right, let me see here. Just checking something since it is the vines next. 5, 10, 15, 20.
Our suits activate and stuff, right?
The weird triggers, so whatever abilities you have set up for your suits, they trigger. Don't forget, because I will.
I got all of mine. Nice.
5, 10, 15. Right here, a mass of vines shoots up out of the ground. Entangling vines. I need everyone. Let me see here. Let me just check. This is difficult terrain. And I need you all to, those three of you in that area, please make me a strength saving throw.
Oh, I'm good at these. I say immediately before failing.
I was gonna say, Luke, you jinx.
Yeah.
You saucy jinx.
Yeah. I should have seen that coming.
I'll add my +1 to make it a 12.
I'll also add my +1 to make mine a 10.
Okay. Musa?
Oh.
There we
It
go.
is that is a save, so you're safe from the weird.
That's a 20.
Musa, you are able to pull yourself away from the thick, tangly vines. It's still difficult terrain here. However, Domo and Vice, you watch as the vines near your feet push through the moss and wrap around your legs. As this happens, you find that you are restrained by the plants.
I had a dream about this once.
Holding you in place until you free yourself using an action with an athletics check. That is its turn. You see the gnome still tangled by the vines over up ahead. Please, don't let it get you too! As this happens, we would move to Tally. However, each of you see shifting from the darkness up ahead, sort of like northeast, is another gas spore.
Oh boy.
With that, Tally, you are up now. You see some of your friends.
Tally moves. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say, you see up ahead in that purple square, that's where the vines have shot out, so that is difficult terrain, meaning it just takes extra 5 feet of movement to move through it.
Okay. And Domo's the one who's...
Domo and
Who's it?
Vice both look
Are-
like they
are
have
restrained,
vines
yeah.
wrapped around their legs. They can't move.
Okay. All right. Everyone breathe. Tally moves closer. Kind of... how do we move this? I will figure this out. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Tally moves closer, kind of towards the epicenter of the tangles.
You pushed the delicious turkey out of the way since you made your save.
Yeah, just out of my way, turkey. She kneels down to the ground, touches the surface of the soil, trying to discern if it's loose ground.
Okay. What would you be trying to... Give me like a check with this.
Well, she would like to mold the earth.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. So, did you want to make a check to see if you can do that, or just try it?
Let's try it.
You place a hand down, sort of just pushing into the thick moss at your feet, trying to mold whatever maybe rocky dirt ground underneath. There is no effect, however.
Oh shit.
Nothing shifts, nothing moves. It's weird.
Could I also do a nature check on the spores that are coming to us?
Absolutely.
What they're.
I do an Arcana check and see why that might have happened.
Sure. Knowledge checks are free. I want you to make active checks. Tally, with your nature check, is there anything specific that you're trying to determine from this thing, or just general information?
I'm trying to discern what their nature is, their true nature is. What is their... if this is a trap.
These are natural creatures, although they're kind of crazy looking. However, you are able to discern with your nature check that they are likely working on impulse, as the way that they multiply is to move towards a target, explode on them to infect them with a disease from their gas spores, and then later when that person dies from the disease, more gas spores will grow from the corpse.
So we all need to get away far from this as possible? That's what I'm guessing.
You did see when Harper was able to take out the one behind you that when they... Black Star, that when they explode, the explosion seems to go out and fill a area 20 foot out from them. So it's possible to maybe try and pop them at a distance and be relatively safe. It'd be dangerous if they get too close. Also,
Could I do another action if the mold earths didn't work, or is that an action counted already?
That does unfortunately use your action.
Okay. Then I will...
You can still keep moving if you'd like.
I would like to go closer towards the gnome without getting tangled.
Sure. You can just kind of sidestep that tangled area. You can see the vines animated and shifting around, so you can avoid that area as you push up. Oh, help me! He says as he sees you grow close.
She became adjacent to it. My held action happens. I'd have disadvantage though because I'm restrained.
You have advantage? Oh, it's somebody else.
It's somebody else. Yeah, I don't get advantage on my own thing.
Yeah.
I help myself. 14 versus AC on the plants.
That hits.
I deal 14 piercing damage to it with an arrow as I bat away the tendril.
You see the arrow fly into the mass as it takes 14 points of damage. Tally, you kind of look behind you and see this arrow let loose by Domo, sort of caught, but still able to fire at this thing from afar.
Duck.
Musa was trying to make an Arcana check. You are unsure why that happened, Musa, but I also need you to go ahead and roll a d25.
God.
Would I do that on I crit 20 the strength save?
Saves don't count.
Okay.
Yeah, saves don't count. But this Arcana check sure as hell does.
11.
11, okay. Alright, that's something that may happen, but you're not sure of the effect just yet. So let's go ahead and keep moving here. Tally moved up. As you continue to approach, and you guys fend this stuff off, over to your left side you see another one of these gas pores appearing. Vice, you are up. You are just trying to eat some damn chicken or turkey, but you're caught in this vine work here.
No, that chicken is not free range basted. I don't want it.
Musa, also give me a D3 roll, please. And then go ahead. Keep going.
Chicken. Action to remove restrain.
You're going to need to give me a strength athletics check to break out.
Strength athletics. And it's disadvantage on range attacks if I'm restrained, right?
It's disadvantage on all attacks if you're restrained.
All right, I got to do it. I got to try and bust out.
Sure.
All right, strength athletics.
Nice.
17.
Yeah, you're able to kind of just ripping your legs up to get out of this. Maybe doing some of your movie actor tumbles and rolls. You're able to pull yourself free from the vine work. It's still difficult terrain here, and you've used your action. However, you are free from being restrained as the vines try to like grab back at your legs, but you shift out of the way.
I can break these cuffs. Be 10, 20 to get out.
However, you can't move that way because you need to move as close to that turkey as possible and take a nice bite out of it before you can do anything else.
Even when I saved against it?
Did you save against it?
Yeah, you said it was, what'd you say? It was a DC 11 or something? I rolled a 16.
A 16? Okay, I'm sorry, you're fine then.
Yeah, bro, it's too many carbs on that turkey. I don't want it.
The turkey.
Musa, your weird pressure is at 3.
Stuffing.
Yeah.
I will get nose to nose with this.
Mm-hmm.
Then I already used my action to get free. Do I get a second action? Yeah, I do get a second action to attack, don't I?
Not if you use your action to break free, no.
You have a
And-
bonus action.
Yeah,
but
you
I
have
think
bonus
all of
action.
your monk stuff.
Yeah,
All of your
it's
monk stuff requires.
it's off the attacks. So I will point at the gnome. You still need assistance, bro.
Help me, he says.
All right, watch this, and then I will do nothing. That's my turn.
He just points. 6, you are up.
You could grapple and move away at half speed with him.
Grapple's an action.
Yeah,
Did he already use an action? My bad.
to free myself. Yeah, I was kind of out of things. I think.
That's some tasty looking
True
turkey over there.
It's super good looking.
I'm gonna go for this delicious turkey. Can I move through Domo?
Yes, as long as you don't stop there. It is difficult terrain though, so that takes 10 feet of movement instead of 5.
Well, then I'll do 10.
That's also
difficult terrain.
I know, but she has to go straight for the turkey, I
You,
think.
you don't have to go straight. You just have to make it to the turkey. So you
Oh,
can
then
be
I'll just
smart
go
about it, but you can't stop from going
5,
towards the turkey.
10, 15, 20. I got the
You
turkey.
you take a honkin' bite out of that turkey. It tastes great, actually.
Don't mind if I do.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Everyone sees the words "Don't mind if" become tattooed on 6's forehead.
What are you doing?
You take a nice bite out of this turkey. It tastes amazing. And then for whatever reason, you have no idea why you had to run over here and eat this turkey. You're free from its charm.
You get there's fighting to be done. Why are you eating?
She's still eating the turkey.
Holy shit.
It's pretty good. You should try it.
I've got enough on my plate over here, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Anything else, 6?
So I still have an action and a bonus action, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you took your bite of turkey, so you're free to move away from it now, or you could just keep eating whatever's in character. I mean,
hold on, I did not expect to be able to do anything this turn for some reason. I am going to look at this gas bag right here.
okay, the one close to you, yeah. It's 30 feet up in the air, kind of floating down towards your group.
And can I pull out my hand axe? Does that like cost anything?
I'll say you had it at the ready when the battle started.
Well, usually she uses the warhammer though.
I'll say you can switch, sure.
Okay, she is going to try to throw the hand axe
Oh, okay,
at the gas bag.
sure.
So, is that just a regular attack roll?
That's an improvised,
No, it's a
or
ranged
is,
weapon.
is it a ranged weapon attack roll? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, a hand axe is a thrown range weapon.
Oh,
It uses strength.
I'm
It is
thinking of the two-handed. Okay, yeah.
it would be at disadvantage because it's, see how it says 2060 on it?
Yeah.
It's a
wait,
little-
no, it's not. Wait, yeah, it is. So if it's within the 20, it's a regular attack, but if it's outside of the 20 but in the 60, it's a disadvantage attack.
You could,
Okay.
or you could attack the plant with advantage, because I did the help action on it and nobody's attacked it yet.
I think 6 would be more concerned with this giant gas bag thing.
Probably a good idea, honestly.
I would like to use my card to have normal, not
Nice.
disadvantage.
Oh,
just
okay.
Normal roll.
Yeah, don't forget you guys have
call.
inspiration cards. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and throw that on the screen. I'll delete that.
Literally forgot about that.
What do I do?
We're all stretching our D&D muscles again.
I don't
24
know.
hit.
Yeah, 24.
Yes, that totally hits.
Okay.
And then it looks like you get it.
Got an 18. Lucky you. That was not a 19 or a 20. 5 slashing damage. You watch as your hand axe swirls through the air and lands right in the eye of the gas bag. Like, before you can even see any fluids from the gas bag erupt, it just blows up. And where there would be fluids is just a cloud of dust.
Oh, fuck,
And
my eye,
spores.
what the fuck?
Nasty.
Who throws things?
She's still eating the chicken with one hand. That's pretty gross.
Your hand axe kind of just falls to the ground near here as the dust spores fall and dissipate in that area.
Okay, she is going to what did I already move? Sorry guys, this is like
25.
Yeah, you're right. 25, so that's 5, 10, 15, 15. Could she pick it up right there?
Sure.
Okay, so she's gonna move right here then
Okay.
and pick up her hand axe.
You shift over there, kind of waiting for the last bits of the spores to settle, and kind of just grab your axe back, brush it off.
All right, and I think that will be it for me. Yeah.
Okay. The gnome who's held by the plant struggles, get me out of here! But he's not able to break free of the grab that is on him by the plants here. We move over to Musa. You are up. Man, that chicken sure does look good.
Yes, it does.
Or turkey.
Oh,
10,
no.
25.
However, you'll need to... Did you get trapped in there, or are you good?
She saved.
Okay,
I
okay.
save that, yeah.
You take a healthy bite out of that cooked turkey. It tastes delicious, and then you're wondering why the hell you needed to eat it so much, because it's a weird floating turkey. The effects are done.
Well, that was delicious, but weird. Okay. Let's see.
Jason, I completely forgot about my suit.
Okay,
And I
well...
have some helpful things. Will you let me retcon it? Well, it doesn't matter. It died anyway. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, just remember for next time.
Yeah, yeah.
Musa, what you doing? You've taken a bite. Still got your
Alright.
action.
Move here, and I will cast Sword Burst.
I think that's adjacent to you.
What's that?
I think Sword Burst is adjacent to you.
Will they just stay around me, right? Or no, they... Oh, I'm...
No, it's an attack that hits everything around you.
Point blank AoE.
Point blank AoE around you.
That pay.
If you have anything that requires an attack roll, you have advantage versus the
Yeah.
plant thing.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Like Firebolt or Flaming... I forget spells because I've played like 3 different games since Dungeons and Dragons.
Vicious Mockery.
That's a save.
Oh.
Chaos Bolt.
Hey! You got advantage on it.
An advantage.
Yeah, roll again to see how high of a number you can get. Okay.
Yeah!
24 hits. You aiming at the plants?
Yes.
All right, that hits.
So, let's see. And it's Chaos Bolt. The extra 5 damage is gonna be force because I rolled 2 4s.
Nice.
Sure.
So 5 force damage on it.
Plus the 8 regular damage?
No.
Is
What's
it all
that?
force? Is it all force damage?
No, the 8 is whatever magic damage. I think. Or is it
It's-
all?
Is that
Hold
the
on.
table you have to roll on for chaos damage?
Make a range.
Chaos Bolt.
Isn't this
We're
fun,
learning,
Mose?
everyone. Bear with us. We're rusty, okay? Okay,
Fucking-
it's all the damage is force.
Okay.
The extra d6 determines the damage,
Yeah.
but actually, no, you choose one of the d8s. Yeah, okay, the extra d8 determines the damage, yeah.
It was, yeah, you got it.
Okay, so it's all force damage.
Forceful
Yeah.
force.
Force damage and how much?
8 plus. what
5
was
is
it?
13.
8 plus
13.
5, 13.
All right.
Not bad.
A thorough hit as you cast a chaotic bolt from your hands, and it smashes into the vines near the gnome. It seems to give a little bit, and the gnome is able to fight a little bit more, but he's still kind of trapped. Anything else, Musa?
That's it.
Okay. Is everyone okay since we're mid-combat to maybe go 10 or so minutes more, 10,
We
15
got
minutes more?
this.
Okay.
We
So we
got
can wrap
this.
this up. All right. Domo, you are up. You are trapped by the vines that cover your feet here.
Nope, don't like it, don't like it.
I'm gonna try to make an athletics check to get free.
Sure.
Let me just find my character sheet since I was looking up Chaos Bolt. Here we go. Don't
Yeah, you're
get
able
that-
to.
Yeah.
You just use your weapon to just sort of like stab at the vine work and pull yourself free. Did you make a
Yeah,
save
yeah.
against the turkey?
I did. I've succeeded. I'm gonna move here.
Okay.
I've already used my action this turn. So I'm gonna use my bonus action to do the help action on this gas bag. This guy. Next ally attack that hits that gas bag has advantage to hit.
Cool.
And I'll move see that was 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 back here next to Flash. And I'm done.
All right. Speaking of, Flash, you're up.
That turkey looks really good.
It sure does.
Do I make the save now or after?
Wait,
You
what?
already made
Another.
the save.
Yeah, you
No, I
already
mean,
made the save.
Would there be an additional save, or
No.
I just had to go and eat now?
Once you take a bite, the effects wear off. It tastes delicious. Holy shit, who put this turkey here? Why are you eating a floating turkey out of nowhere? Why did you do that?
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I gotta get the name of the catering. They did a great job for this spread.
Help me, God, please!
You want some? Hey, I'll give you a piece, brother. Don't worry. Is that my action to eat the turkey?
No, that's just like a free action. You took a bite.
All right. Bonus action. I'm going to pull out my lute, which is a solid steel black bass guitar with electric green neon strings going out it, and point device and say, "You gotta feel the rhythm, brother. Take a bardic inspiration." And I'll look at the. I'm gonna look at this giant bag of gas up there and cast fireball at it.
Fireball.
Fireball.
Holy shit.
Nice.
That seems a little overkill, doesn't it?
Fireball or
not at all.
firebolt?
Fireball.
On the gas bag, they die in one hit.
Yeah.
If I can hit, it should have enough range to be able to hit both.
Oh no. Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Okay.
I said I cast fireball.
Listen, what part of I cast fireball didn't you fucking understand?
I strum the strings of my guitar and point up there and throw up some devil horns and say, "Roast."
All right. Yeah. Give me whatever attack roll fireball is.
I'm gonna launch it back here.
Okay. It's a save. So you're doing it far enough back so it's gonna hit them but not hit any of your teammates.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Dex 15.
Okay, yeah. All right, so let's get a dex from both of them. These are not the most dexterous. They both fail.
They're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Everyone hears a massive explosion as Flash. What do you do? Like point your guitar and fire it?
Straight out of the front of it. Throw horns up and point up there and shoot one straight out of the guitar.
It shoots past the vine work. You hear it with a like whistling, and then there's a explosion behind the trees as both gas bags erupt into their gaseous explosion. The forested area nearby sort of immolates with the fire, and a lot of the trees catch on fire.
It does ignite flammable objects, if I recall correctly.
The area around here, over on that side, out of the range of you guys, begins to light and catch fire. And as this happens, and you sort of grasp at your ears from the sound of the explosion, the ground shakes beneath your feet. Up above, Six, Domo, Musa, you see a casting shadow of what can only be described as what looks like a falling tree trunk coming your way, silhouetted in the canopy. Please make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
It's fucking danger close.
I'm using my advantage.
Sure.
Situation.
Don't forget your suits are active.
I get advantage on dex saves as long as I'm not blinded, deafened, or incapacitated.
Nice.
Whoa.
I'll just make a dex save.
And I would like to use my +1, so 14.
Sure. Let's see here.
I explicitly need to know if this is a success or fail, Jason, because I have an ability that could trigger off of this if it's a fail.
This is a fail.
All right. Domo is going to use the Hobgoblin ability Save Face. I get a +1 bonus to this save equal to the number of allies I have within 30 feet, up to a +5, because I don't want them to see me fail. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it becomes it's only up to +5. I can't get over.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So I trip and I see.
I can't see the boys. Let me get crushed by this fucking tree.
And I'll just scramble out of the way, I guess. Assuming an 18 succeeds.
Yes.
Hopefully it does.
So does a 14 fail?
A 14 fails.
Okay. As my reaction, I would like to use Lucky Footwork, which is when I fail dexterity saving throw, I can add a d4, and I only rolled a 1, so that's 15.
Rabbit folk!
Hey, that's a save DC.
Hey, rabbit folk! Already coming in useful, that rabbit.
Yes, I'm a little bunny.
Domo, Six, you guys are able to like quickly hop out of the way. Some of you quite literally. Musa, unfortunately, this large sort of tree trunk shadow kind of crumbles down, dealing 11 bludgeoning points, kind of smashing you against the ground.
This child is crushed by the tree.
You watch as this happens that it looks like the trunk like drags and slips across past the vinework here that was difficult terrain, destroying it, and over where the fire was, knocking down some of the trees, and what almost looks like smothering a large portion of the fire. Only bits and pieces of sort of like little embers can be seen in the distance, although it's pretty difficult to tell in the darkness.
What was all that, then? 17 perception check on what the fuck was all that, then?
Oh, another 18. Difficult to tell. With 18 perception check, that did not look like a tree.
Oh, good.
I could say is I don't know what to say.
I'm gonna take 2 steps back and end my turn.
No kill like overkill.
Sorry, Jason, so it landed here and then dragged off that direction, correct?
Yeah, but it doesn't hit Flash.
No, I'm just saying, just for our
It looks like it almost dragged
that
across the ground. That's right.
direction. Okay. Sweet. My turn unless there's any more spores around. He looks up expectantly into the sky.
No more spores, although you do see a clear open area of the canopy and a black starry sky above.
It's beautiful, almost enough to move me to song. And let me double check the movement before I do flavor. Ooh, I have a button for this. Echo. That's 30 feet speed. Yeah, so the flavor is that Blackstar Baz started banging bass and guitar riff, and they move this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, he moves with you. That's cool.
That was a diagonal move there.
Sure.
And then 6 for Baz, and Blackstar will stay where he is. And dun 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 dun. Blackstar starts with a nasty riff that goes like this, like a big old battle axe to the face. Great axe rather. The 21 to hit.
That hits.
Does 11 slashing damage.
Nice.
Second attack.
You cut a good number of the vines away as you make your slash attack.
18 to hit.
18 hits.
Sick.
That's 13 slashing damage.
All right.
And then I have old Baz follow up with a nasty solo. One more attack. Where is that button? Sorry. For new places. Baz attack for 7 or 18.
Oh man, you're a dude. You're a fucking dude.
That's
man.
another hit.
Just wait to see if it doesn't die, Luke. Does it die from the 7 slashing damage?
It does not.
Blackstar says, "That's enough, even more solo." He kicks out and does a action surge.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It means I can attack yet again.
Nice.
Let me double check the verbiage on that echo, because I think if I can have him attack again, I might have.
You've knocked away a good number of the vine work here with some of your teammates, but yeah, they still are kind of wrapped around this poor gnome.
Holy shit. Yeah, it stacks with action surge. That's so disgusting.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay.
It's like
Oh
my
my
favorite
God.
thing, dude.
So, we'll start off with Baz making the first attack. That's just a normal thing that can happen. When I make an attack, I can have him make one instead.
Oh my god.
Blam, 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 blam. Oh,
Remember-
shit, it's a crit.
Oh, I love it.
no.
I love it, buddy. I love it.
For 20 damage.
Before we do that 20 damage, please give me a D25 roll.
25.
Just remember, you can only do the extra clone attack a number of times equal to your con mod each day.
Yeah, I got +2. Oh, wait. Yeah. No, I got you.
24?
24.
All right.
And just upkeep on the suit stuff. It would have already taken that 1 from my suit. The first attack I would have made on it.
All right. Go ahead and give me a D3 roll to increase your weird pressure along with that.
A delicious bucket of fried chicken appears immediately behind you.
You watch, Harper, as a third arm grows out from your chest,
Oh.
permitting you to equip an additional one-handed item, such as a weapon, shield,
no.
or wand.
No way. Okay, that's gonna be fun for even next turn.
And your weird pressure was what, 3?
3, yeah.
You
I
go
put
up
it in there
to
already.
6.
Yeah. Then Blackstar takes his attack. This is still part of the first attack.
You did 20 damage to it, right?
Yeah, 20.
You
With
you
the
like
crit.
thoroughly rin through a lot of it, freeing an arm and a leg of the gnome.
And then do we have it? are we doing flanking rolls, or do I have advantage on this at all?
No
I
flanking
guess
rolls.
not. 9 to hit.
9 is gonna miss.
All right, then I will kick my leg one more time and tell Baz to finish off the solo. I will spend my last bit of resource to have him attack.
All right.
Which is a
Nice.
crit, because the next 18 that I rolled was going to be a crit.
Oh my god!
Wait, so what happens?
Music is powerful. One of the suit upgrades that I have is my next attack that's 18 plus is a crit. So it does another 23 damage.
All right.
I
What is
used
it?
like all of my resources on this attack.
That's not a natural 20s. That doesn't trigger the weird.
Yeah.
But what does it look like when you destroy these assassin vines?
It's just like we're just like throwing some nasty licks at it, and it just shrivels and explodes.
Call
The
this one weed killer. 1, 2.
the vine work surrounding this gnome kind of ripples and bursts away from the sound of your shredding, Black Star, and you watch as the gnome sort of pulls free. And he kind of like throws himself on his stomach and pulls himself towards your feet, Tally, and kind of just wraps his arms around your feet and says, thank you.
Hey, you go next to Scratcher. Is that normal?
A lot of weird things have been happening. I don't remember that turkey. I don't remember bringing that. But I like it. Look, and I throw another guitar up in the air, and he catches it and starts playing it. Look, now I can make 3 guitars happening at the same time. Ding, 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 ding.
Amazing. Echo Knight's so good.
So good. I am also very tired.
Flash is gonna walk over to you with a tear in his eye and just reach forward and give you a hug. I haven't played like that in forever. It's like old times.
It was nice to show off a little bit. You guys just saw a taste of what I can do, of course, but that's how we do.
Oh, so cool.
Not to look a gift horse in the mouth, but are we just not going to talk about how that giant tree thing came down and tried to kill us all?
I assumed that was our next heading of direction.
We're going in the direction of the tree thing that tried to kill us.
Well, we still got an anomaly to find, and that was the most anomalous thing that I've seen.
Next to the turkey and the extra arm.
Well, for some reason, I feel like that's unconnected.
Perry kind of looks up to each of you and says, the gnome, and says, my name is Perry. He begins to sort of brush himself off, rubbing his large red nose and running a hand through his frazzled black hair, and looks around. Who are you people?
Is he like near me?
Yeah, he's
Can you
like
say his
clinging
last
to
name?
one of your legs.
Okay. Is the fire still going?
Most of the fire has been put out, actually, by whatever that tree trunk thing was.
Okay, so it's just like little.
There's like a
embers?
couple small embers, but you'd be able to tell that it's not going to pick up enough steam to start another fire.
Okay. Tali bends down and kind of reassures Perry. Hello, dear. How did you get here? What happened?
I live here, he says, and he sort of like throws himself on his back and kind of just sits upright. This is my home.
Right here.
Yes, I'm a resident of Lumpton.
Alrighty then. Is that your wheelchair over there?
Oh, he kind of looks around, looking to where your view is. Oh, yeah, I kind of need that. Could you help me to it?
Tali kind of helps him to it.
All right, he's easy enough to pick up in your arms, and
Oh,
you
I
kind of.
pick him up in my arms.
I mean, if you could do it any other way, But he's like small enough since he's a gnome that you could easily enough pick him up. And as you come over to the wheelchair, you can kind of see it's like caught in some of the vine work and foliage nearby. It's been tipped over. You can see it looks broken in a couple spots. You see one of the wheels has been snapped in half, and one of the armrests has been like nearly wrestled off.
I set him down and said, I hope that was okay. I didn't mean to just pick you up. And I want to cut off the vines with like, do I have a dagger? Let me look if I have a dagger real quick. I don't have a dagger. Kidding. I turn to someone and says, does anyone have a dagger on them?
Vice hands out like a little small hatchet that you can use.
Hey, my friend, oh, go ahead.
I set him down, and then I start hacking away at whatever's holding the wheelchair down.
Okay.
It looks like a guitar, the hatchet.
He
A guitar hatchet.
turns you,
Little
Tally,
ukulele.
Yeah.
and says, "No, it's okay. I appreciate it. Anything to get me back on my wheels, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to use this." He says as you kind of like hack it free, but can now more clearly see the broken nature of the wheelchair.
So I have to carry him. I carry him again, and it's like, come here. I'll help you out. You can sit on my shoulder if you'd like.
Do any of you have any way to help fix it? It's my only way to get around.
I'm pretty handy with these sorts of things.
And Domo puts what I imagine she has some sort of like backpack in the suit or something
Sure,
like that.
you have all your gear on you, yeah.
I got smith's tools and leatherworking tools, and I imagine some of that would be helpful.
Yes. Smith's tools probably would be pretty helpful.
Cool. I'll make an intelligence check with the smith tools. See if I can't figure out how to put this thing back together.
Sure.
20 plus efficiency plus intelligence. 8.
He said this was a wheelie gig.
It's my legs, he says.
Oh, I don't think I put it together right then.
From your check, you spend probably like 5 or so minutes, and it's may not last forever in the shape that it is. It's sort of got a little bent to it and is a bit rickety, but it probably will support him at least.
Say, friend.
I was just gonna say,
Sorry about that. I'm not much of a woodsman.
You watch as he kind of climbs down from you, Tally, and pulls himself into his wheelchair and kind of gives the wheel a slap and says, "It should do enough for now. Thank you."
Say, friend, what do you think that falling log was about? It quite scared me. It was quite... And he looks anomalous. And he leans in and looks at him like he's expecting that word to do something to him.
He sort of like cocks his head, unsure of what you mean, and says, I don't know. I think something hasn't been right for a little while now. I think Lumpton is angry."
What's Lumpton? Is that not a city? How's it angry?
You mean the townsfolk is angry?
No, Lumpton. This is Lumpton.
That's not more clear, my friend.
Well, I could show you, but we
Please.
can't really see all that well from the forest. Why don't I take you to a clearing?
Lead the way.
All right, he says, and he kind of grabs a satchel that was around his belt and pulls a purplish mushroom out and takes a bite. Anyone want any?
Yes? Without a second thought, Blackstar.
oh shit, we getting wet here? Let's go.
Yes.
It's got a very earthy taste to it, but
Ooh.
it's not all that bad if you're into that.
I've had something like this before on another planet. It's quite good.
The mushrooms out here are pretty delectable. Please follow me, he says, and he begins to move through the forest.
Oh, I thought this was going to be the trip, but we've got another one. Got it. Let's go.
You each begin to move along with him, making your way towards the edge of the forest. You begin to see sort of a clearing and can see out to the night sky, and are able to clear the forest. I'm going to change the maps here, but what I'd like to ask you guys to do is not look at the screen until I tell you to do so.
Alright, let me tab out of this shit.
Here's the thing. Don't look at the screen, but if you can, when I move the maps here, I'd like for you to use your mouse wheel when I tell you to scroll in.
Okay, I think I got it.
All right, so don't look. Don't look.
Let me remember which is the scroll shortcut.
Yeah, you scroll up. Yeah. So don't look, everyone. I'm moving the maps here. Don't look. Hang on just a second. I am centering on your tokens. And now if you would please scroll up to zoom in. All right. And now, before you look, I would ask that when you do, you look and then slowly zoom out.
Ah, very nice.
So everyone go ahead and look. As Perry says, this is the party here, is this token. Perry looks and says, This is Lumpton.
I like it. I don't like it.
Yes, that's what I was thinking was happening.
And you find yourselves standing on the back of a colossal humanoid creature.
He's got a little butt crack.
They really were fart bags.
So disgusting.
And that is where we will end tonight's session.
I love that.
Traumatized.
Is this gonna be like Osmosis Jones? Like we need to like go inside.
No,
Yeah, let's do it.
Going south.
You guys will
I
be
love Osmosis Jones.
you'll be traversing this map next session.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
no.
What does it mean?
Ew.
We're going north, right? We're going north, right?
South all the way.
South all the way.
Down the butt trail.
Yeah.
So disgusting.
I hate it so much, Jason.
He's so grody. He's dirty.
This is a custom map.
Oh, is
Oh
it?
wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
This
Who
is-
did it? It's so good.
A really cool artist created this. I'll have to pull his name up, but he did excellent work. I'll definitely rep him. But it's an amazing job. It's really awesome.
I just need this guy to eat a Witchlight Marauder for us.
Well, he's big enough too. So, did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
What'd you think, Mose?
This is awesome. The map is crazy.
It's
I don't even know if that is like lakes or just pure lakes of sweat. That like I don't.
Oh.
No, God.
Oh.
there may be some nasty stuff coming up. One day GM, go check him out over on Fiverr. Man, he does a fantastic job. I couldn't ask for anything cooler. It's really neat.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, awesome. I know we went over time, but I really appreciate all you guys hanging out with me and going through, getting through. I know there's a lot of sort of like narrative exposition towards the beginning, but I thought that would be a more fun way to sort of explain some of your suits' abilities and stuff. That was more fun than just being like, here's all the homebrew bullshit. So hopefully that was fun. a huge thank you to everyone who stopped into the stream. I really appreciate it. There's so many names, I can't name them all, but I really appreciate everyone. Thank you for not only doing the bit train and supporting the channel, but also buying all of those cool Twitch channel point rewards. Please keep doing it for sessions continuing forward. Bailey is going to be a constant thorn in everyone's side.
Thanks, babe.
And thank you, Mizuchi, for the follow. If you enjoyed the content here and haven't already followed, please make sure and do so. We're going to be playing every Friday night for this mini campaign, and Maz is going to join us next week for even more, and that should be a whole lot of fun. And that'll be more of an exploratory session, so it should be a good time. And again, a huge thank you to Clyde, and congratulations for winning that physical copy of the Fizzban's Treasury of Dragons. Thank you so much. So we're going to be wrapping up for tonight. Thank you all so much. Make sure, those of you out there, to stay safe, drink plenty of water, stretch your legs, don't get COVID. And we will be back next Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I stream D&D every Friday nights now that we're back on a new campaign, but I also do Mondays and Wednesdays. We're going to be bringing back the Behind the Screens, either Monday or Wednesday next week. I'll figure it out, and I'll see if I can wrangle one of my D&D buddies here to come join me so we can kind of talk about some of the interesting premiere tidbits of that last episode and maybe play some games and stuff with the viewers. So thank you all so much. Be safe out there. We're headed out for the night. Is there anybody I can raid? Usually I go and raid you. I'm trying to think. Let me just go on Twitch real quick and just see. I don't think there is, but let me just make sure. We're kind of late, and that's usually my friends list. There's not a whole lot of people usually doing stuff right now. Yeah, I don't see anybody who's live that I know, at least. Okay. Well, I'll keep an eye on and make sure to do so. I'm gonna send a message over to Clyde so I can get his address and deets to send that to. But thank you all so much. Thank you, Maz, for making sure to come by and join us and play some D&D. It was super fun. I hope you had a lot of fun. We're going to do it again next week, and that'll be a good time. So thank you all so much. We're headed out. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye, slags.